course, well, it depends on what part of the world you are joining us from. And I think that what I'm particularly excited about is just looking through the list of the people we have. I get a sense that I know where some of the locations, the locations of the people who are currently joining on the call. So I think we have quite a very diverse audience in terms of geographical locations where they are joining from. Okay, so ideally we set to start by 9, but I was just saying to myself and to the team at the background that look, with the kind of rain that we expected yesterday, I'm not shocked if people are still trying to get off their bed, but we would make our commitment to start on time, particularly because we have a very loaded session today that'll be fully packed. So welcome to the Ivy League ACC Open Day. And essentially today we're going to talk about a lot of things. And just by way of introduction, my names are Jonathan Ike Olumba, but I like to keep it short as Jojo. So I'll be the host for today, and also it's a pleasure to welcome all of you to the call today. So today we're going to be discussing about a bit about who we are as a school, what's our value proposition. This is the ACC Open Days, so a lot of our conversations today would also align with the offerings from ACCA and how we think that in our collective interest, pursuing the ACCA qualification, it's a very good sort of direction for aspiring accountants and chartered accountants and finance professionals. And then there are other qualifications associated with the ACCA. We'll speak to that. I'm also excited to say that we have a sort of packed speakers who's going to be speaking to us today. We're going to get the head of ACCA Nigeria come talk to us at some point. Also, some of his senior leadership teams, especially around education and partnerships, would also be on the call. We have guest speakers. We have a keynote guest speaker, and then there's a surprise guest again that will show up at some point. And then also we would also open up to hear from our students, because sometimes it's good that you also hear from testimonials from people who've gone through our programs, and then we would speak to our approach. So our approach in Ivy League, we call it our blended learning approach, and then we'll open up for questions. So it's really informative. It's going to be an informative session, and it's going to be very interactive as well. Just before we get, because I think our guest speaker has been here on the call since 9, and we're going to get to him very, very soon. But I just wanted to speak a bit about who we are. So Ivy League is, we like to describe ourselves as your professional finance qualification partner. A bit about us, we started this journey in 2013. And from then on, we've witnessed what I'll call remarkable progress, and which we are really grateful to the internal one for giving us that gift. We've trained over 10,000 students since inception, and we are happy that some of our students have gone on to really hold leadership and executive management positions across various strata of the economy, and whether it's entrepreneurship or it's really around corporate or public sector or even driving, lots of initiatives across the globe. We are really very happy about the success they are recording, and they continue to become our ambassadors. A pivotal part of our journey was in 2020 when we had the COVID. We switched online, and what's also interesting is that we've also gone on to also rejig our learning approach just to suit digital learners, and also reflective of the way the world is currently at. And so we are here in 2024, and I'm proud to say that this is our 24th diet. So we just wanted to signpost that as well. We pride ourselves as being the leader in ACC tuition across not just Nigeria but sub-Saharan Africa, and this is validated from data that ACC shares with all their learning partners. We're also proud to say we are an employer's choice. One of the things that makes us all happy here is we think across various strata of the economy, we have our alumni, like I said, in certain very key positions. Also, our tutor experience is something we are happy about, not just experience from a professional standpoint, but also in teaching, right? So we've had tutors who have been teaching for more than 20 years, teaching, finance and accounting, dedicating their weekends as well too. And much more, we are driven by purpose. So we are really purpose driven, and our purpose is just really to support the economy and the development of the society through professional finance education. Just a comment around the ACCA, and we'll touch to that. That the ACCA qualification is structured as a three parts qualification, and there are three E's. So the first E is the exam. So if you're going to become an ACCA certified chartered accountant, you will go through series of exams. The depending on your pathway and what point you get to join, but it's structured in three levels. So there's the foundation level, there's the applied knowledge level, right, and there's the applied skill, and then you move on to the final stage, which is where, depending on whatever exemptions or pathway, everyone sort of aligns or converges at writing the strategic professional exams. So there are no exemptions for the strategic professional exams. Even if you have a PhD in accounting, you still have to start at the strategic professional level. And the course content around them is actually reflected on the slide, and we are going to speak to that again at some point. So something that we've been modeling our ACT journey around quite recently over the last 6 to 8 years has been the idea around how we think that in basically around 2 years or less than 24 months, we actually think that the proposition around studying for ACC is that you could be done in 2 years, and there's quite a lot more. So we have a success case of a guy we call David. So David joined us fresh after school, and David graduated school at the age of 17. And when I mean school, I mean secondary school for clarity. And then David joined us, and he sat and wrote our foundational paper exams. He did that within 4 months. He went on to write his skill level papers. He did that within an extra 8 months, making that 12 months. And he sat for the professional papers, and David was exceptional, and in doing that in within 10 months. So cumulatively, David was able to do his exams and become a certified chartered accountant within 22 months. Now, here's what's interesting. ACCA also offers partnerships that allows you have a BSc in accounting. So David at 19 was a certified chartered accountant, also had a BSc degree in applied accounting. And that's for us something that we think that we sort of model what we offer. So sometimes we say yes, an ACCA chartered accountancy qualification, but there are also quite a lot, and I'll speak to that. So we have BSc programs and with partnerships with ACCA and global universities across the world. We have MSc in accounting, partnerships with global universities across the world, even MBA programs as well, right? And that's really a testimony of why, the ACCA, we like to call it the global passports, especially in the world of accounting and finance. The other part about ACCA exams is strong on ethics and professionalism. And just a way to reflect that is that everyone who becomes an ACCA member would actually have to go through a learning program called the Ethics and Professional Skills module. It takes about 15 hours to complete it, and it's a requirement before you can become an ACCA certified accountant. And something that I like about this module is that it's also reflected in the knowledge and in some of the learnings that we go through as well too. So it's deepened within our qualifications, and there are quite a lot of our courses that ethics forms a fulcrum in what we actually do teach in that particular course. Then the final part in becoming an ACCA certified accountant is that you've got to also show practical experience as well too. And for practical experience, we actually do have a webinar. And it's on our YouTube page that we've conducted in the past. ACC also has a couple of complimentary webinars as well. But just to keep it simple around what are the requirements. So you're expected to gain relevant experience, and the definition of relevant experience speaks to across several things, even around digital experience, people in strategy, people in obviously financial reporting, people with all sort of experience around, business finance, management, public sector finance management, right? So you've got to gain that experience, and that experience in itself doesn't have to be full time. So we've seen people who've gained experience supporting their church, supporting their sort of social associations as well too, with some of these experience as well too. Then you have to find a supervisor who would sort of confirm that what experiences you have, right, that those experiences do reflect what ACC has set for you, and that in itself can be complemented if that person is not a certified chartered accountant. So a certified chartered accountant would also have to reconfirm that as well too. There are set target performance objectives if you go through the PR portal, and you've got to gain experiences along those performance objectives, and you start to record them and you keep them going. So other related qualifications, I will come back to this much later on, but I think we've spoken about the BSc in applied accounting. There's also the diploma in IFRS, which sometimes we see a lot of people who have gained certified chartered accountancy qualifications in other programs, right? So complementary programs, and do come to say, look, we want to deepen our knowledge in financial reporting, and we do offer that really as a school, right? And essentially about the exam, it's a one-stage 3 hours computer-based exam, usually administered in the first week in June and December, and you need a minimum passing score of 50% to pass it. A one-time initial registration fee of £36, and then the associated fee as well applies. So for those who are interested in the BS in Applied Accounting, we have a special session for that, and that will come up in a month's time on the 13th of August. So you want to watch out for that, and we will share more details as we wrap up this session much later on today. All right, I just can't wait for us to get into our guest session. Honestly, it's with a lot of pleasure, with a lot of gratitude that we're happy to welcome our special guest today to this session. And he needs no introduction, right? Our special guest is one that we've seen blaze the trail, but more importantly, he's very impact focused. I've been a beneficiary of so many of his, speaking engagements where he speaks around, capacity building, especially around things like from data analytics, financial modeling, and I think he's just one of those people that we're proud to say we have in this country. So it gives me a lot of pleasure to welcome Mr. David Brown, to the Ivy League ACC Open Day. Can I confirm that Mr. David Brown is on the call?
Yeah, I think I'm on the call, but I think I need to be, you have to kind of upgrade me so I can share my video. So,
Okay. So I think our admin will be picking that up, but let me stop sharing and see if that also allows you to do that.
no, you think you should just make me one of the organizers, at least temporarily.
Okay. Let's confirm you can now.
Yeah, so that releases the camera. Let me see if you can see me. Can you see me?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, great stuff. So, great. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I don't know if audience can type in the chat because I always wanted this to be interactive. So, can we just test if you can type in the chat? Anybody? Just type where you're connecting from. Okay, I can't even see chat, so I don't even think it's possible. Okay, so chat is probably disabled. We're not that many here, so it would be nice to kind of interact with the audience. So thanks, Jonathan. I don't know if I should start. Can you hear me clearly though?
We can, and I think we are sorting out the chat part. We can very well.
Okay. All right, great. Let me share my screen. So I'm going to do a very rapid fire presentation, right? Very quick and fast presentation. Let me see if I can share my audio. And I have a special guest that I would want to, couldn't share sound. Why? Why can't you share sound? Go to your device audio settings and speaker settings. Okay. Well, let me see. Let's see if I can share sound. So maybe I can use the headset. Okay. Let's try again. Okay, now I can share. Okay, tell me if you can see my screen. You know, the usual thing. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. So I'm going to talk about analytics, AI, trends in accounting and finance. And I have a special guest that I hope will be able to join me soon, a digital guest. Right. So analytics, AI, trends in accounting. I think we can chat now. I think it's Q&A we can do. We can put, I think it's Q&A that works. All right, let's just jump in. All right, so what will I talk about? Very briefly, I'm going to talk about a framework for analytics. One key thing about analytics, it sounds so complicated and stuff. I want to give you a framework that we use. We've been using this framework I've been using this framework for 20 something years. And regardless of the technology that comes, it's the same framework, right? So it's not necessarily about all the massive technologies. Data is data, and data has always been data for a very long time. So how you work with data hasn't really changed. So I'll give you the framework we use and how we do that. And then we're going to thinking with AI. So I'm going to bring AI in as a guest and see how that works. Hopefully the technology will work and we'll ask a few questions. So if you have any questions for artificial intelligence, you better start popping them in your Q&A. Maybe I'll ask them directly. So I'll have a short conversation with AI. And then I'll do a live demo. I want you to enter some data and you'll see how the data automatically updates analytics live, right? It's a tall order, right? And then what really matters. And I want to remind you, accountants and finance people, of what really matters in your business. It's not about your qualifications and stuff. There's something that you need to do. You have to enhance the productivity of your workforce. You have to enhance the productivity of the business itself. And you need to report to your executives, right? So what matters to your executives is what should matter to you. I'm going to give you a framework for understanding that. So that's that. Thumbs up if you get it. If you understand, this is where we are. Thumbs up, see some reactions or something, so I know that we have people in the house. Thanks, SCN. I think it's only SCN in the house. Okay, SN, Amma, and okay, I see some more people. Great stuff. All right, so a framework for analytics. So this framework for analytics is, my background really is accounting. So I'm a chartered accountant. I'm also chartered tax, chartered management. I'm a member of the CFA Institute. And I basically started working in data right from secondary school kind of stuff, or like I said, university, just pre-university. So I've been working with data a lot. I don't know how many of you have worked with Excel. How many of you work with Excel? What? Let me see. I don't know. I can't see show of hands. But if you have worked with Excel for more than 30 years, 30 years, okay, put your hands down. If you've worked with Excel 30 years above, let me see anybody's hands up. 30 years. Ijoma, you've worked with Excel for 30 years. Ijoma, I yield the floor to you. You need to come and do this presentation. Is that true? Ijoma, your hand is up. Ijoma and Amara worked with Excel for more than 30 years. Wow, excellent. Now the thing is Excel working for you? Are you working with Excel, or Excel is working on you, really? Because sometimes you wonder whether you're really using Excel. So Excel is one of the top data analytic tools out there, right? And everybody uses it. 1 billion people are currently using it. But the thing about Excel, thing about data is we're very inefficient when it comes to using data. Very inefficient. And so I want to quickly show you a framework that will make you efficient. And when you get data, financial data, whatever data, you'll be able to automate all your reporting analytics with this framework, right? So it's called the modes framework, right? The modes framework. And this, as I said, I've been using this for 20 plus years. D-Brown Consulting uses it for all these engagements. Now we're kind of showing the world the framework that we've been using for quite a while. What does modes mean? In English, a mode is a manner, a way or a manner of doing something, isn't it? What's the mode? What mode did he use to do that? The various modes of doing things, right? So that's what the meaning of modes is. So we've used that acronym and we converted it into an analytic framework. So, but typically, when it comes to reporting, think about it. When you're doing financial reporting, you use the software. Some of you use Oracle, some of you use Microsoft Dynamics for finance, some of you use QuickBooks, some of you use Sage. I don't know which other tool you use. We can't type in the chat, but anyway. So we have all these tools we use. Those are operational systems. But at the end of the day, why do you still use Excel? Because let me tell you why. The reason is, what typically happens is you download data from that software, mainly because you often have to combine data from other sources. That's where the problem of analytics starts. Your software is good, it has reporting, but not enough reporting that your management needs. The other data is coming from different places. So you need to combine them, and that's where Excel comes in. You download. Once you download, then you clean. You clean the data, polish the data. After that, then you calculate. You do your P&L, your balance sheet. You do your calculations and your KPIs, right? You do those manually, formulas. You become an expert in Excel. And then you populate PowerPoint, nice PowerPoint, maybe the same template you use every month, right? So you repopulate to the latest financial reports and you present to management. So it's a pity I don't know, but I want you to also think, what part of this do you do? What is the most critical aspect of this that you do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis? Think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or do you do all? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So what I'll tell you is that this is super inefficient. This is how the world runs. Most of the world runs like this, when it should actually be, you should be using time to spend time on number 6, which is brainstorming on the insights. You shouldn't be doing all these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so that's what this modes framework is about. So let me show you quickly what modes means. M means you map your present state. So if you want to automate your reporting analytics, this is the framework for you to do that. First thing you should do is map where you are. Understand all the reports and everything that you currently have. Bring it all on the table. Try and understand, okay, these are all the reports in our organization or my department or wherever right now, right? Map where you are currently. So bring all the reports, print them out, put them all together, right? And the next step is organize. You now need to organize that data. And there's a framework we use to organize the data, but that framework is based on what we call the 4 Ws of reports. Every report has 4 Ws, right? Every single report has who did what, where, and when. Whatever report it is, financial report, okay, financial report, who is it for? Okay, all our subsidiaries. What is it? Well, it's a P&L, profit and loss account, with all the line items and profit and loss account. Where did this happen? Well, it happened on the 10 locations that we currently have. Okay, when did it happen? It's financial report for January 2024. You get? So those are the things you see in your data. Who did what, where, and when, right? And of course, you organize your data in that way. Use that framework to organize your data. Next step is design. Once you've mapped, you've organized, you need to design your data model. Now, in designing, you need to understand there are 2 systems at play when it comes to analytics and data. 2 systems. One system is where you execute a process. When you log on to SAP, when you log on to, I don't know, Sage, you log on to QuickBooks, you are executing, you're entering data, you're like a bookkeeper, you're entering data. That's execution, right? Execution is very, very different from evaluation, right? Many of us mix it. So you execute, and once more report comes out, you think that's analytics. That's not analytics. Analytics is evaluating a process. Execution is basically your operational system. That's what runs your operational system. There are 2 different systems. They're 2 completely different systems, and the data infrastructure for them are completely different. So once you understand that they're different, then you start treating them better and you'll be able to do better analytics, right? Sometimes we talk about analytics is really operational systems. We're talking about execution. Analytics is evaluation, all right? So once you understand that, you're then able to design your data model, which will include facts and the who table. You know, I said who did what, where, and when. There's going to be a who table, a what table, a where table, a when table. It looks very simple. That's basically it. And then your analytics happens. So let me even show you one example. So let me open a demo. So look at this report. So this is the report. This is detailed analytics, right? So this is analytics. I can hover over this and see, okay, what happened to total registrations completed? Okay, courses, interesting. I can click a course here and see it cross-reference and stuff. Now, this is the tool, Power BI, right? This is a tool. The tool is useless if you don't know how to build a framework. The framework is what I just showed you: a who table, a what table, a when table, a what table, a where table, and this is your fact table. Of course, I'm not giving you details of facts, it's just a quick presentation. But this is the data model that drives the analytics. And the data itself is connected to that data model. Once the data updates, your analytics updates, your visualization updates, and then you spend time brainstorming on your reports, not spending time doing cleaning data and all of that stuff. So that's the aim, that's the goal, right? Right, so you've mapped your current data, you've organized your data using the 4 Ws, you've designed your data model, you now went and executed that design inside Power BI that I just showed you, right? So what is missing? I said is modes, right? So there is S missing. So S missing is what? What's S? You map, you organize, you design, you execute, and number S is the most important part. S is storytelling. You need to do storytelling with your data. When you're presenting to your executives, you need to present a compelling story. Now, if you go and Google dashboard, you know, executives love dashboards. If you Google management dashboard, you see ugliness, you see complete lack of standard. If there's one word you're going to get out of my presentation today, is standardization. You need to learn how to standardize reporting in your organization, how to standardize financial reporting. Let me tell you something. Accountants, I'm an accountant, right? So I'm going to abuse ourselves a little bit. Why? Tell me, time period. When you're talking about time periods, right? Think about a chart or something. Does time move from left to right or right to left? I think I would like the organizers to unmute and answer on your behalf. Does time move from left to right or right to left? Somebody has to
I think
unmute
right.
and talk.
I think right to left.
Right to
That's
left. So
right.
time moves right to left. So you think about it. If you have a line chart, right? Your line chart will go from the left like this to the right, isn't it? Yeah, right. So left to
Yes.
right, right?
Yes.
It will move from left to right. But guess what? All your financial reports, time moves from right to left, opposite. Your financial report, you have net profit, expenses. The first
Left to
column
right,
is your latest
depending.
financials.
Time moves from what to
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can very
Somebody.
well.
So you see, that's a big problem. That's not standardization. I know the idea is, oh, let them see the latest financials very close to the figure, but it's like you have 2024, then 2023, then 2022. Meanwhile, the chart that's under it will be 2022, 2023, 2024. So the chart is moving this way, your financials are moving that way. Not standard. But anyway, these dashboards, when you go online, you see this kind of terrible ugliness. Very, very ugly. So what I'm going to give you is a standard of visualization, because you cannot do analytics, you can't do AI if you don't have the outputs to use to make decisions. Look at this, traffic lights, right? You already know it's traffic lights. Why do you know these are not traffic lights? These are symbols for traffic symbols, right? How do you know road signs and traffic symbols? How do you know it's road signs? Most of these are not in English, but they are standardized. So if you're driving from here, you drive into Ghana, you drive into Cotonou, the road signs should be the same. If not, you probably will crash, right? You won't understand the road signs. So road signs have been standardized. Look at this. This is an architect's drawing, standardized. Any architect in the world will be able to read this, regardless of where they schooled. Engineering drawings, same thing. Architectural drawings, engineering drawings, all standardized. Even music, standardized. Why is business communication not standardized? When we're communicating business numbers, and we are the custodians of business numbers, accountants and finance people, it is not standardized. Go and look at financial reports, go and look at just simple presentation of numbers, any company anywhere in the world, different. Why? And it's not as complex as architects. What do we report? Tell me, what do we report when it comes to financials or data? You're reporting actual versus a target or a benchmark, and then actual over time. And then you do the variance of those two. That's all. So actual against actual today versus actual yesterday, actual today versus actual same period last year, actual versus target, and the variance between targets. That's it. And then we split it by, for accountants, we split it by financial line items, right? Your reporting lines. For a salesperson, you split it by the sales products. Do you get that? That's all. It's very easy, but we don't standardize it. So this guy started an organization called International Business Communication Standard. Go check that out, IBCS. And he said a simple statement. He said, if we want to make business communication more effective, then things that mean the same have to look the same. Very simple. You want to standardize, then something that means the same thing must look the same. All right. And that is the International Business Communication Standards. And that's what we have there. All right. So there's a success framework that they have, and that is the framework that we use in the, let me just give you a bit of it. So look at time. Time goes from left to right. Can you see that? Left to right. Time goes from left to right. And then when you're looking at categorical subdivisions, you want to put them vertically. Time you put horizontally, right? That's simple standard. When it comes to labeling, you should be able to put a concept for your heading, the way you label any visualization you show. You need to be able to label it properly. So, for example, you have, let me drag this down, sorry, something's stopping me. So let us unify the title of a page, chart, or table. We name the organization under that line. That's the organization name. You also then put the metric that you're actually using. What is the measure you're using? So this net sales and the currency. in millions of US dollar, millions of NGN, right? Very clear concept. And then you put the time period. So what you're doing is you're putting the who, the what, and the when, isn't it? Who, what, when, right? Or who, yeah, basically those are the things. You remember the four W's? So these are concepts. Actual data, make it a solid gray fill. Planned data. Why is actual filled? Actual is filled in because actual has happened. Since it has happened, we fill it in. Plan hasn't happened, isn't it? That's why it's empty in the middle. It's called an outline. Now, what about forecast? Forecast, that means some of it has happened, right? And then you're reforecasting. So this is simple standards. Now, when you put that into a visual, right, it then looks something like this. And then what did I say? You're comparing actual against a time period, let's say previous year, or actual against plan. So this is an absolute comparison. Relative comparisons too, there's a standard. Your relative comparison, the bar should be thinner than the bar for actual. So these are beginnings of standardization of your analytics and visualization, right? So I'll just jump there. This is an example of a good visual. This is an example of what some of your financials should look like. You have your plan. How do you move from plan to the actual values at the end of the day? These are your relative variances. These are your absolute variances, and this is your actual performance down here. And then see your heading, all standardized. That's the IBCS, International Business Communication Standards. Fully implementable standardization, right? So this is the modes. I'll give you a summary of it. This is the modes framework I just showed you. The story is using something called the success framework. That success framework has about 98 rules for how you visualize data. Go to ibcs.com, check it out. I know time is of the essence, so I'm just going to jump into my guest, which is AI. I think that's my next talk. Yes, I'm just not going to do the rest. So I'm just going to see if I can have a chat with AI and let it tell us what is going to happen to us as accountants with AI. So let me just see if I can do that chat. Let's make that chat happen. You tell me if the technology works, if you can hear the AI. Let's see. Which AI should I use? I'll use the general one. So I've created all sorts of different AI tools, right? So let me use the typical one that everybody knows. Okay, so mirroring. Yep. Okay, great. So I'm going to use my phone. Let me bring my phone into the screen. Okay. Right. So let's have a chat. Now tell me if you can hear it. So let me see. Let's see if you can hear. Can you hear? So let's have a chat with it. Just tell me when if it speaks. Let me talk to it. You know, demos are always. Hello, can you hear me?
We can
Hello,
hear
can you
you.
hear me?
I guess
No, I
we
was
can hear
actually
you. I
talking
guess.
to the AI.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Can you see poor connection? Aija. Hello, can you hear me now? I can't even hear it. So no. Let me change the audio to let's see, Scarlett. So did you hear it? Because I didn't hear it. You see, it's not wanting us to experience this because this will be very interesting if we can get it to work. Hello, can you hear me now?
Got it. Are you running into specific issues with the demo? Or are you looking for tips to make it run smoother?
So did you hear the AI speak?
Yes, we did.
Or what did it say? You heard it. Okay.
We heard him.
Okay, great. So let's have a discussion. All right, great. So really, I'm talking to some top accountants in Nigeria right now. So they are ACCA qualified, and they really want to understand what AI is going to do to their profession and how they can leverage it to really be more productive.
Got it? AI can definitely shake things up in the accounting world. Here's a quick rundown you can share. AI can automate repetitive tasks like data entry, invoice processing, and bank reconciliations. This frees up time for accountants to focus on higher value activities like financial analysis and strategic planning. AI powered tools can enhance accuracy by reducing human error. They can also provide deeper insights through advanced data analytics, helping accountants to identify trends and make better forecasts. Encouraging them to learn how to use AI tools, such as machine learning algorithms for predictive analytics or natural language processing for document analysis, will be crucial. This will help them stay ahead of the curve and offer more value to their clients or employers. Feel free to ask if you need more detailed points or examples.
All right, yeah, that's fine and good, but really, we're scared that you will just kind of take jobs, right? So you're going to just take jobs out, and again, I know sometimes AI hallucinates, so it's going to kind of be a disaster, really, for this industry. What do you think?
I get the concern. AI can definitely change the job landscape, but it doesn't necessarily mean it will take jobs away. Think of it more as a shift in what tasks are prioritized. Yes, AI can handle routine tasks, but it's not replacing the need for human judgment and expertise. Accountants will still be crucial for interpreting AI generated data, providing insights, and making strategic decisions. Regarding AI hallucinations, it's true that AI can make mistakes. This is why human oversight remains essential. Accountants can leverage AI tools to be more productive, but must also be vigilant in verifying and validating the results. In essence, AI can augment accountants' abilities rather than replace them, offering new opportunities to focus on higher value work and improve overall productivity. It's about adapting and evolving with the technology rather than fearing it.
Okay, great. So let's end by giving 5 core points. Give me 5 points that everyone here in the audience should kind of work towards for analytics, AI, and trends around accounting and finance. What are those 5 things you see that we need to be aware of when it comes to analytics, artificial intelligence, and trends in finance and accounting? 5 points.
Absolutely, here are 5 core points to keep in mind. 1. Embrace automation. Automate routine tasks like data entry, reconciliation, and report generation to save time and reduce errors. 2. Focus on data analytics. Develop strong data analytics skills to uncover insights and trends that drive better financial decision making. 3. Stay updated with AI tools. Keep up to date with AI advancements and tools such as predictive analytics and natural language processing to enhance your capabilities. 4. Prioritize cybersecurity. With increased reliance on digital tools, ensure robust cybersecurity measures to protect sensitive financial data. 5. Adapt and upskill. Continuously learn and adapt to new technologies and methodologies. Upskilling in areas like data science and machine learning will be essential to stay competitive. These points should help navigate the evolving landscape of accounting and finance with confidence.
All right, so that was not bad. That's not bad. Let's give AI a hand. So that AI tried, and how did all that work? There's a lot of prompt engineering that goes into that. That's another skill you need to learn. Prompt engineering. How do you speak to AI? How do you work with AI? Just like working with a human being, right? So I will pause here. I don't know if there are going to be any questions, right? I want to do a quick demo and talk about the real matters about finance and what your execs need. But let me pause here. Any questions? Back to you, Jonathan.
Oh, thank you so much, David. I think this has been very informative and very, very educative. I also recognize that you also have some time scheduled around doing
I can
something.
give an amount around. I can give a bit longer if you want to. If you need time,
Uh, uh,
that's fine.
uh, 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 okay, not a problem. There will be a panel session just immediately after you. So maybe I'll just allow you touch on that. Then the panel session will kick off.
Okay. So any questions at all, or you do the questions at the end? How does that work?
Yes. So maybe we'll take the questions at the end.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I won't be able to do the demo. I don't think we have enough time for this. But let me just go straight to the last bit. So what really matters, right? So let's go to what really matters. Now, this is important because at the end of the day, if our organization's well-being and profitability and stuff is what will keep us in the job, as well as what will enhance a lot of things that we want to do. So as accountants, as finance people, we are custodians of finance, we're custodians of the numbers. And frankly speaking, nothing can happen without finance. Not because I'm in finance, but nothing truly can happen without finance. Finance is custodian of money, right? So what are executives interested in? When you want to evaluate the performance of an executive, I want you to think first. You're evaluating executives' performance. What metrics would you use to evaluate their performance? Think about it. What are the metrics you're going to use to evaluate the performance of an exec in a business? Anybody want to shout, join? Maybe, I don't know if you can mute or mute. How would you evaluate an executive's performance?
Please feel free if you want to speak. You could, if you're having any challenge with speaking, you can also let me know. I mean, you can feel free to speak so that it's interactive for him.
All of us are either executives or we hope to be executives. So you should know what makes an executive tick, right? You should know that from now. And anything you're doing as an accountant or finance person is either helping the executive reach those goals or not. Obviously, if it's not, your time is limited in that organization, right? So let me give you a simple framework. Sorry for background noise. Okay, Yewande, go ahead.
Okay, I think we can use metrics like turnover, profitability, sales target to evaluate
So
an executive performance.
good. So profitability is definitely one. If the company is not profitable, the executive is to blame, right? So yeah, for sure. So any one more? Awesu, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel a good executive is someone who can not really use, but push people around him to bring the desired results. Not someone that is the only one bringing results, but everybody around
Okay.
him should be able
So
to
working as
train
a
them.
team to get people to bring results in. Very true. Very true. Temitope, I'll take you last.
Okay, to evaluate executive, I think majorly to be on the company share price, the company reputation, like goodwill, how people perceive the company, and some financial decision, how investors are attracted to the company, depending on the
Excellent.
level of the sales and the executive.
Good. So definitely you've touched on various issues and I can summarize them with what I'm going to show you next. So these are 6 levers, 6 things that every executive need to look at. 6 things broadly broken down into 3 main points. What are the 3 points? They're interested in money. Money basically cash flow. Market being market size, right? They're interested in markets. Money, another word for money is cash flow. Another word for market is growth. They're interested in growth. And lastly, exposure. Another word for exposure is risk. So cash flow, growth, and risk. And if you're a finance person, you know those are the 3 key metrics for any valuation. Yeah, cash flow, growth, and risk. Or you can say money, market, and exposure. So an executive is interested in pushing up money. How do you push up money? You push up revenue or profit? How do you push? What are the things you want down so that money can go up? You want costs to go down. So executives necessary in revenue, profit, and cost. Markets interested in increasing market share and reducing what? Time to market. How long does it take our product to get to market? Time to market. Exposure, yeah, increasing retention. You want to retain customers, you want to retain staff, and you want to reduce risk. So as finance and accounting execs or specialists, we need to ensure that everything we do is touching on these 6 things. And we're the custodians of the data, we're custodians of financial reporting, and you need to make sure that that is on time and ready for your executives to use. That's where the analytics comes in. You can use AI to help you enhance this and make this faster, getting higher market share and reducing time to market, right? And of course, identifying risks and reducing risks. Risk is also part of what we do, right? So that's a summary. I will stop here. I may stop sharing my screen. I will hang on a little bit before I jump off. I hope you enjoyed this short session. I'm happy to get questions and answer them as they come. Thanks, everybody.
Wow. Please, everyone, can we give him a virtual round of applause? I think this was a very productive use of our time. Please, can we appreciate him by giving him a virtual round of applause, please? Yeah, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Let's give him a virtual round of applause. Um, Honestly, David, I think you did more than justice to this, and I mean, this doesn't come as a surprise to many of us. We're very, very grateful for this. Let me check. Does anybody want to ask him a question off the back of what we've discussed? I know we are already running over time, and our panel is already set to start. But I think the back of his wonderful presentation to give him a chance to address anything. So I think Lekon, do you want to unmute and ask him a question?
Sorry, yeah, the question has been the answer has been said. Good morning.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
it
okay,
was about the cash flow I wanted to mention in the questions and what
okay,
the executives do. Thank you.
okay, okay. Um, is there anyone again who wants to ask a question? Is there anyone again who wants to ask a question? Okay, K, please unmute. And I think,
Good,
yeah, then obviously Shay will be next.
good morning. Please,
Yeah,
I
good
wanted to
morning.
ask, what AI platform did we use to get those information? Thank you.
Ah, okay, David, over to you. She wants to know what AI tool you were using to engage with us.
Hello, can you hear me? What AI
Yeah,
tool did I use? Okay, I
yes.
used a well, the base tool is OpenAI's OpenAI, but then it's prompted, so it's a GPT. It's my own GPT of OpenAI,
Mhm.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah. So basically, mannerisms and stuff. I basically taught it on things that I know and how I want it to work with me. Do you get? So if I'm talking to it, it's saying, "Hey, hi, David, how can I help you?" and all those kind of stuff. And I've told it to limit its knowledge base to certain things and use certain things. Do you get? So it's prompted. So it's OpenAI is the base. And when it comes to AI, you have a base LLM. LLM is large language model. You usually have a base. So you have your Google, you have your Google Gemini, you have your OpenAI, Chat GPT, even Microsoft uses the base LLM for Microsoft. The whole Microsoft has a base LLM. It's OpenAI they use as the base. So there are only a few base LLMs, right? You have Claude AI from Anthropic. You have Gemini from Google. You have OpenAI. Do you get? So once you have your base, then you can now build on top of it. And as accountants, we should be able to do that. It's not that difficult. Prompt engineering is what you need to learn.
Fantastic. So prompt engineering. Dari, let's also be mindful of our voice. Yeah. So prompt engineering really. Uluwa Dari Fatuki, let's be sensitive to our mics, please. Okay, so I think what I would do is I'm going to call one of our directors now to perhaps ask this question, but more importantly, a vote of thanks to you. And I want to call on Shei Ushibulu.
Oh, hi, Jonathan. Thanks. Thank you so much, David. That was really helpful, and thanks for accepting to speak to our people and our students, potential and current. I just wanted to check with you a question I often get from a lot of people, especially those who are um, pursuing an accounting and finance career. And that's really how do I switch into or combine this with, something in tech, whether it's, this area of analytics or, other areas that are emerging as well. So what was your journey like, and what advice would you have for a young person starting up and, trying to ensure that they are relevant in the future while also still being in the field of finance and accounting?
All right, super great. Thanks for that question. One thing you have to understand is, regardless of what field you are in, anywhere in the world, whatever field you're in, career you're in, there is always data. Data is universal, right? So the analytics that you want to go into, the AI, whatever you want to go into, can be that specific to accounting and finance, right? So if you're analytics, you want to do financial analytics, you want to basically go deeper into those financial analytics and understand the AI you want to build will be the one that can assist you in completely doing the audit of your reports, getting all the data, and then it does the full detailed audit, and then you're now reviewing that audit. So you, with your domain knowledge, the most important thing, right, for the future is domain expertise. You have domain expertise in accounting, you have domain expertise in finance. The additional analytics and stuff, that's not the difficult part. You've done the difficult part. You have solid domain knowledge. Keep that domain knowledge, continue enhancing that domain knowledge, and then understand that, okay, how does data work? Basic understanding of how data works, right? We can do various online courses and stuff. You could decide you want to pick one top analytic solution. Let's say Microsoft's Power BI, Tableau, or Google's, whatever, and decide, okay, I want to do a certification there, accreditation there. So go and do a certification in one business intelligence solution, right? You could get vendors to do trainings for you. But once you get that certification, it grounds you on standardization and gives you the basics you need, right? So pick one, maybe pick Google, pick Microsoft. I'm biased because I'm Microsoft. So I would say pick Microsoft, right? And then do that certification. The reason you're doing it is to discipline yourself in a way that you now know the foundations and understand how to use that in finance. So you're going to use that in financial reporting and stuff. Then another thing is you need to standardize. I gave you IBCS, International Business Communication Standards. Most people don't even know about it. You need to learn how to standardize your data, how to standardize your reporting, because it's through standardization that artificial intelligence works best, right? Once you standardize things, then AI can really give you benefits. So all the fancy stuff, leave that out. Go start learning the fundamentals, the foundations. You don't need to go to university for that. The content is there online, but at least you go there. So for me, I've been a data person right from secondary school. In fact, my first model was built just before university. In Excel, I used what? Excel 1993. I mean, I've been using Excel for a very long time. So I was curious about data, right? So I didn't go to any course or anything. I was just super curious about data. And then when I related that to finance through financial modeling. And that's another big thing. Maybe Jonathan and the rest may talk about it later. Financial modeling is a big pivot, is a key for you. As a finance person, as an accounting person, you need to be a top-notch financial modeler. Then you need to be a top-notch data analyst. You can't avoid that. Then once you have those two and you have domain knowledge, then you're going to outsource a lot of what you currently do now to AI. And then you will be that architect at the top that is guiding AI and guiding all your colleagues and stuff or your subordinates, while you have that bigger domain knowledge and analytics and able to interpret those numbers. So that's really the career path. And yeah, I could put a link to a Microsoft community that you can join that I lead in Microsoft, a Microsoft community that I lead. I'll look for it right now and see if I can share the link. Join that community and we'll be able to share lots of things. We do meetups, we do all sorts of free activities that you could benefit from. Okay, I'll drop that in I'll send that to Jonathan. You can share that with you.
Thank you so much. I think we'll also be happy to have that link as well too. And I think some of the things coming up now, right? Financial modeling, and we will speak to that at some point on some opportunities for everyone. And then obviously you've spoken about data analyst. I think those two were very strong in what you just said. Okay, so finally, Shay, do you want to do the vote of thanks for us?
Oh, hi. Thank you. So, David, thank you so much for your time. I thought we still had someone who wanted to ask a question, Dario. So, but if not,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Shui, and thank you, David. Please, I just want to ask, how do we mitigate against the issue of security as regard AI? Because even some company now, currently, they don't even allow you to use AI while carrying out some analysis. So how do we mitigate because of security concerns? So how do we mitigate against that? Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. So obviously security is a major risk. There are two approaches to it. One approach is don't do anything, cut it out. You should not be part of what you do. Of course, you'll be 100% secure, 100%, no AI issues for you, but guess what? You probably will be extinct. Why will you be extinct? Because your neighbor, your competitor has fully taken AI, has reduced its cost profile significantly. Yes, there may be risks and one or two clients may sue them, but they will still be alive and take all your clients. So you can't say absolutely no, and you can't say 100% yes. It's in between. Let me tell you a fact. Most IT security experts are still scratching their heads on how to manage the security for AI because it's not like other software. When you have a software and there's a bug, somebody will go and write code and fix it. You can't write code to fix AI. That's not how AI works, right? AI works with massive, like the entire world's data and is pulling things from the world's data. And just like you, sometimes you make a mistake when you're pulling things out. But people are working on the security. One key thing I would say you should do is you should basically leverage on bigger people. When I say bigger people, people that have spent the billions of dollars on security, and then you can then go behind them. If somebody, one massive person is in front of you, right? He has bulletproof and stuff. If you stand behind that person, guess what? Bullets will probably not touch you, right? Maybe a little by the side, who knows? So who's that bulletproof that you need to stand in front of? It's Microsoft, it's Google. They have a security infrastructure already, a layer of security, which you can now go behind that layer of security, right? So you don't go directly on your own. I think you're just opening yourself to be shot, right? But if you're behind that security infrastructure, so Microsoft has a robust security infrastructure, so you could say, hey, we're not going to use OpenAI, we're going to use Microsoft Copilot. Why would you use Microsoft Copilot? Copilot uses OpenAI, but you're not going to use Copilot directly. You're going to go through the security infrastructure of Microsoft and then use OpenAI. Do you understand? So those are ways you could secure yourself, but it is not foolproof at all. Go to my Twitter handle. I've pinned a discussion with AI where it was just line and line and line and line. Go and have fun there. Go and you just laugh when you see it. It was saying, yeah, I've done the job. It didn't do anything. So, but what I want to advise you, accountants are conservative. Don't be too conservative in this one. Create what you can do in your organization. Have a small crack team that's doing experiments with the AI. Secure experiments in a secure way. Because if you don't, your competitors will take you out. So you need to kind of change your profile. Yeah.
Fantastic. I mean, we could do this for as long as we can, but we're also limited by time. So, Shay, you want to say the final thing?
Yeah, so David, thank you so much for this. Really helpful. You've sparked some thoughts in all of us, particularly the need to pay attention to this area. And obviously, you're well known in this area in terms of your expertise and the work you do through DB Consulting. So thank you very much for coming today. We really appreciate it. And we'll be in touch.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. I can't see where to post what I wanted to post to Jonathan. Nowhere to post it.
All right.
Q&A. Let me drop it.
Thank
as
you
a
so
Q&A,
much.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll drop the link as like a Q&A question. So you can hopefully click it from there. All right.
All right. All right. Thank you so much one more time again. And ladies and gentlemen, we did promise you that today was going to be fully packed. And actually, it just continues from this. So what had happened is we had planned to start our panel session next. But unfortunately, because we've overrun on time, so we have a situation where we have two of the people leaving now. So I want to just crave the indulgence of the panel members, please, that we just give us 10 minutes. We just have two people to speak in quick succession of 5 minutes, and then we start in 10 minutes time, just so that we have a good conversation with the panel. So please, please, I want to crave the indulgence of the panel members. So I'm going to call up two people in quick succession to speak to us for 5 minutes, and they will complement what we've heard from David. So the first person that I'm going to call, and just to confirm, is Professor of Accounting at the Lagos Business School, Professor Akila. He's in very, very experienced, trained a lot of corporate executives through the ranks and over the years, just to really share his thoughts to we as aspiring accountants and what the endless possibilities might look like. Then after him would have Isibo, who's the head of ACCA in Nigeria also, and just to share his perspective of what is in it for us, as we desire and pursue our ACCA qualifications. Just one more time to apologize to the panel members that we'll just start 10 minutes after the both of them would have. So let me confirm, Prof, is Prof on the call?
Everyone.
Is Prof on the call? Prof, are you on the call?
Hello. Good morning.
My end.
Can you hear me?
Oh, perfect. Perfect. Yes, we can, Prof.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes, we can. I hope it's not my end that has the network.
Hello. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Prof.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Prof.
We
We
can hear
can.
you, please.
Go on. I think the network wouldn't help. But can anybody hear me? I want to be sure I'm not the one having this issue. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, we are holding
Yeah, we can hear
seven
you.
of us there.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you. Clear.
Okay. Is Prof on the call? I could tell I heard his voice, but I don't know if he's still on the call. Okay. If we hear, maybe we'll back minutes time. Let us now hear from the head of ACC in Nigeria, Mr. Tom Isibo. Mr. Tom, good morning, sir. Can you confirm you're on the call, sir?
Hi, Jonathan. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm on the call and I hope you can hear me.
Perfect. Perfect.
Fantastic. Oh, wow. I always love this picture when you use it, Jonathan. I think it reminds me of everything that we stand for as an organization. First, inclusion and diversity, and the fact that we are a force for public good. And it's great to see us, raising up our hands for that. Thanks, Ivy League, for always, organizing this session because I think it's fantastic. I'm sorry if my picture quality is very bad. I think I'm probably back in the sun. And thank you for always organizing this session, what I think is, absolutely important and critical to always be engaging students like this. Because what we've found is like there's always a lot of gaps between what students' aspiration is and how they engage with ACCA resources to achieve it. And this sort of platform is what makes it possible for that to happen. It's been a while. I spoke with Sheyi, so it's great to hear your voice again, Sheyi, on the call. Good morning. And I think, just hearing David speak, that was absolutely fantastic because we've actually, ACC and D Brown Consult have been having a lot of strategic conversation on how we can, help sharpen skill set and also help build skill set in accountants to make them, more relevant and to make them to be more in demand. So that would just be my introduction. And I know that we are pressed for time. So I'll just be straight to the point. First, I think I want to thank everyone on the call, from the organizers to our students, and then to the aspiring future members as well, as we call them at ACCA. Thank you for your doggedness, your resilience, because we know that well, let me just break it. We know cost of the qualification is an issue, and I know I've opened up the doors and the gates to a lot of barrage of questions. And also, of course, the time factor that it also takes for you to, um, study and achieve your aspirations. Thank you for that. We also want to thank Ivy League as well for the investment they continue to make in ensuring that they develop with the right tuition, with the right exposures, future members as well, to becoming future talents, and to ensure that they are also in demand. ACCA is, like every organization, I think we are also going through the grind and the mills of the Nigerian operating environment. Is really, 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 really tough at the moment. You can't really plan, you can't do anything. And in the face of, organizations exiting the country, but we are still here. And, as a further commitment to the Nigerian economy, we've taken up, the Nigerian Corporate Affairs Commission has required all entities to share up their capital, and I can tell you that ACC has done that. I think there's no further proof in terms of our commitment to Nigeria. Today, really, my take will be that there is a lot of benefit from being, a part of the ACCA family, a part of the ACCA community. And that can no more be represented by the opportunities that the organizations or the ACCA qualification actually gives you. And I mean, just let's bring it home. I'm sure a lot of you know that Sheyi, might be all speaking online, but he's not physically in Nigeria at the moment. It's actually jumping around the world. And I'm sure the basis of it is his qualification. Jonathan himself was one of the, plenary session speakers during the African Members Convention in South Africa. That shows the regard that ACC has for him as a person, and also, the community that ACC is building. Like I said, it is tough. We do feel the pain that our students feel. We do understand that, in a particular month, you might be paying a certain amount, and a few months later, you're paying something else. But it's a peculiarity of the environment, and we are praying that this process will also pass. In terms of resource, I think that is where I really, really, as usual, again, want to appeal. I want to challenge students as well. There is so much resources, but one of the things that also baffles me is students make so much investment in their time. They make so much investment in terms of finance, but they don't make investment in, utilizing resources. There are resources that absolutely meant for free to sort of complement what you're already learning, during, your in phase or during the tuition that Ivy League is, effectively delivering. And of course, Ivy League remain our accredited, highly valued learning partner that are delivering. So we're absolutely confident in, their ability to meet your needs. But there are also the resources, there are question bank, there are examiners' feedbacks that we are not really seeing traction in terms of how Nigerian students are using it. And that will be my charge to you this morning, that if you can please utilize these resources better, it will sort of enable a faster movement of your journey to become a member, and that is we are really proposing in ACCA, make sure that your journey to membership is as short as possible. We absolutely want everyone to pass. There's no quota and there's no, any limitation on how far you want to go. And to wrap this up, ACCA continues to be, committed to ensuring that there are other values as well. We are speaking and talking on a national basis. Our engagement with government recently, I think in February, Helen Brand was in Nigeria. And, we met with Lagos State Governor, we met with the Vice President of Nigeria. And then post that, we've also been having a lot of engagement with state governments and federal government and ministries, departments, and agencies across federal and state government to enhance and ensure that your qualification remain relevant and we can get employer support for your qualification as well. And on the global scale, we continue to identify strategic partnerships that we are also working. SACPA, JAPA, LOPA, all that is not going to change. And I think a lot of it is to the benefit of Nigeria. We are currently in conversation with the Canada office, this is a Canada office, on supporting your how will I put it now, your journey in case you want to relocate to Canada as an ACCA student. So we are bringing the head of Canada. We're also bringing immigration lawyers as well. That will be communicated, of course, across board in due time. But just reassurance that this organization is working day and night to ensure value for your qualification. Thanks a lot, Jonathan, and the leadership of Ivy League again for inviting me. Now hand back over to you, Jonathan. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. That was very apt. And honestly, I know that your time in itself too is very precious, given the number of alternative programs going on requiring your commitment too. So thank you. So what I would do next now is I think we would also check on Prof, but I want to go to call up our panel, and then I'll check with Prof if Prof is still able to speak to us and give his comment as part of the panel, and he can then exit because I think Prof is in a program as well. But let me just recognize the panel so we can start our panel session now. Then I'll check with Prof if Prof is able to speak to us. So one of the highlights of our program, as always in our open day, is getting to hear from an expert array of people. I think David Brown has set the context, and then we can then go deep dive into some other questions. So let me just check that we have some of the panelists on the call. So the first person I want to check up on with is Petronella. So Petronella, can you confirm you're on the call?
Hi, Jonathan, I am. Good morning, everyone.
Oh, perfectly. So Petronilla is the country finance director for Vivo Energy in Zambia. So we also want to have a diverse panel. And she's actually the chair of the ACC's member panel network in Zambia. So thanks for joining us on the call. I want to also check with Choma. We're also happy to have Choma Obaro on the call. Choma is a partner at PwC here in Nigeria. I think she leads the assurance practice. So just to confirm, Choma, are you on the call? Choma, are you on the call? I think. Okay, is Choma on the call? Okay. We were having a conversation offline just now. Okay. I also wanted to bring on Sheyi. Sheyi is a member of the ACCA Global Council, and Sheyi also has worked in 3 of the big 4 and has even held directorship position in 1 of them. So just also confirm, Sheyi, are you on the call as well?
Yes, Jonathan, I am. Thank you.
Okay, perfectly. Then I would like to also check with Victor. Victor Ayola. Victor Ayola is the head education partnerships here at ACCA. Victor, are you on the call as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. Okay, so unfortunately, Jamil, just because of the overrun in time, is just currently leading another session right now. But he's sent his message that if he's able to wrap that up and still meet the panel, he would. Okay, and then finally, just want to check, Prof, are you on the call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So we're going to have that conversation that way, but let me start with Prof before I go to the other members of the panel. So, Prof, what do you want to say to us? I mean, your experience in developing many of them, which includes people like me, is well appreciated. And you also started your career as well, working in an accounting practice firm. Prof started in PwC as well too. So, Prof, just looking into the future and looking at the current things, we've had the conversation on AI analytics and what the future of accounting will look like. What do you want to just say to everyone on the call? If you have maybe a couple of things, 3 or 5 things to share with us.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry about what happened considering the internet situation. And I started by thanking the organizers, the directors of the institution, the Ivy League, David Brand, who I've met on a couple of occasions at ICANN platform, and also one of my very good colleague at PwC, even though when I was at PwC, she wasn't there then. Okay, Chairman, and the other members of the panel. Briefly, not to take so much of your time, I'm happy that I listened very attentively to David. One thing that was reiterated is the fact that technology does not take away the human judgment. It doesn't take away your naturally given talent to look at the analyzed data and make decisions therefrom. So that is a good point that we need to take into consideration. So technology and increase in emphasis in sustainability are transformative phases that we need to add to the fundamentals. The fundamental is what all the great institutions have been trying to give to us at the tertiary institutions and also at the professional level. I would say kudos to all those great institutions, and also for us to have paid our due to acquire all these skills. The issue now is, how do you combine all of this to still be relevant? I have just a list of our 5 items. I'll just talk to them very, very briefly. One thing that is very clear is that being an accountant provides you with the critical thinking skills, which have always been in demand, which will continually be in demand, because there are problems that need to be solved. And therefore, if you position yourself to be a thinker, you be a solution provider. Okay, technology could assist in the processing, but it doesn't take away human judgment. So critical thinking skills are on demand, and accountants are tutored to also acquire that as part of their curriculum. Then also strategic business partnering. We have reached a stage where the days of generalist accountants are gone and gone forever. The world terrain, the business terrain is so complex now that you need to not only be a number cruncher. Incidentally, technology can crunch your numbers for you, but you must position yourself as a strategic business decision mode, which you are going to be leveraging on the number crunch by technology. So strategic business partnering is a sine qua non towards continually being relevant. And you need to also network, you need to combine and collaborate with all the other functional areas of the business. and look issues at a holistic level. The third one is that leadership and management skills cannot be discountenanced, because the story a company is able to tell to a large extent depends on the tune set by the leaders, right? So that is very, very critical. Team leading, effective communication, openness, and decision making that is participation based are all of the skills that are required for businesses to do well, to be able to make money, to be able to grow, and to also mitigate against risk. The fourth one, which is the last but one, is that continuous learning, and that's one of the reasons why this webinar is being organized. The day you stop learning, I think that's the way you are a dead person. You must continue to learn. And incidentally, all the great institutions have continuous learning as part of what they give to their members, so that they will keep abreast of things that are affecting the business world and also affecting even their profession, and to make them continually be relevant and become the consultant of choice, as the case may be. So continuous learning always beats your best performance. And the last but not the least is you must strive to be in such a situation where you are not just locally sought after, but you are a global player. And for that, it means that you must have a global qualification, which ACCA contributes massively. But it's not just about certification. It's also about being able to defend the certificate you have, internalizing the concepts, and being able to use all you have learned to push whatever organization you have found yourselves to the next level. I think briefly, this is what I will add within the short time given. One more time, thank you for inviting me, and I also thank everyone for listening to me. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Prof. Thank you. That was very apt. And I think you ended by just giving us 5 critical things to reflect on, whether it's from continuous learning to critical thinking, strategic business partnering, and also recognizing that, being a chartered accountant can position us for global opportunities. I think we really do appreciate that. It's not lost on me that you have a very busy schedule. I had to pull you from the classroom to do this. Just to say one more time, thank you so much, Prof. And we are
All
very
right, thank
grateful to
you.
have you. And many of your students are also on this call as well too. So thank you, Prof.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So kicking things now with our panel, I will go to Petronella. And maybe the first question to ask is, we've had lots of conversations around analytics, AI, and the future of accounting. So maybe a question to start with is in terms of risk, because that's somewhat like a question that keeps coming up. Risk challenges. What do you say to that? What are some of the risk challenges that we as accounting and finance professionals and students should be thinking around, especially when it comes to embracing, AI and all these disruptive technologies that we're seeing?
Okay, so thank you very much, Jonathan, and it's a pleasure to be speaking to you and everyone on the call. I think for me, what comes to mind first off when we think of AI and how we can leverage it actually to address a number of risks, the key thing is, first of all, understanding the importance of data quality. Because what we are seeing today is many organizations, while we understand that AI is here, it's here to stay, you find that many organizations suffer from incomplete data, inconsistent data, and just generally data of poor quality. And so, in a case like that, you find that you are not able to adequately utilize AI for what it can be used for, especially when it comes to helping us mitigate different risks. When we're looking at some of the financial risks that we're facing as organizations, there are many uses that we could then get AI to help us address some of those risks. One of them could be fraud detection, for example. because we know that AI is able to analyze large volumes of data. It's able to look through so much data that can help us identify patterns, anomalies, and so on. But if we do not have the right kind of data in place, we find that we're unable to get the full benefit of AI. And we ultimately, as a business, we leave ourselves open, leave ourselves vulnerable, because then we're not able to identify certain risks in good time. And you find that they could lead to financial risk, they could lead to reputation risk, and many others. So one of the key things we really need to focus on is how do we get organizations to get to a level where their data is of the right quality, we have the right staff in place who understand how to utilize that data. And so as accounting and finance professionals, what's key for us is one, we need to be willing and ready to upskill. We need to know how to close that skill gap because many of us, while we know that we have this animal called AI, we are not putting ourselves out there to actually get the necessary skills that we need to enable us to utilize AI in our businesses and ultimately helping us reduce some of these risks. So it's very key for finance professionals to ensure that at any given point and as part of their learning and their growth, they continue to add in a component of continually trying to understand AI, how you can apply that to the work and ultimately help you mitigate and address some of the risks that we're facing. Yeah.
Very apt, very apt. I think continuous assessment around these
Mm.
things, this risk is
Yeah.
something you've really put forward there, and that's fine. And I'm going to come back to you again, but before I come back to you, let me check with Sheyi. So I know Sheyi, I know how much experience you have around assurance engagements, and so that would be the premise I would ask you this question. So if we look at the rise of AI and how we're embedding AI now in accounting and finance across our processes, so what do you say to assurance professionals? And many of our students are really in those roles in their respective places of work. How can assurance professionals, adapt the approach, especially around things like data integrity, mitigating biases within AI generated financial information? So, I mean, how do we as assurance professionals, how do we sort of respond to these things?
Yeah, thanks, Jonathan. So I think the first thing is awareness, right? The first thing being understanding clearly the capabilities that these systems have and how you can use it to achieve the objectives you want to achieve. When we speak AI, the main reason why it's important to business is productivity. If you can do more with less, then why not, embrace it? And definitely the accounting firms are not, laid back in this area. I mean, even before ChatGPT, which really was, the tool that announced generative AI to the world, came into force. You've had some firms that have, looked into their audit tools. Obviously, analytics is something that is very important in providing assurance engagements because you need to understand the client's data and you need to understand the insights you can provide from that and the risks that it exposes you to. So obviously, having that understanding of what these tools can do for you to enhance your productivity, for example, to be able to focus on high risk areas, to be able to understand how patterns are changing, and to be able to give insights to your clients is extremely important. And I think that's usually the first problem. We sometimes see it as, this is something for the technology experts or some different team somewhere, and it's not affecting me. Well, in any way, it's going to affect us in any way. And, as David said, or even Prof said, routine tasks are going to be automated. In fact, they've actually been automated. But I think it's gone beyond routine tasks now. We are now talking about intuitive thinking by AI,
Yeah.
right? So where I work, for example, we have a tool which we call paired. And I was a bit hesitant because we can't use ChatGPT, similar to what Dari asked earlier on, security concerns around, confidentiality and things like that. So the firm had to develop its own, engine based on, I think, OpenAI LLM. So I asked questions around securitization. I created a scenario. company ABC wants to securitize its loan portfolio. They want to achieve this. They want to achieve this. What are the things that they should be considering? So this is not what conditions should be met before I can derecognize an asset, which you can easily get or the system can easily provide. This is critical and deep and intuitive thinking, and AI is able to do that. I was surprised, when I saw the outputs that came from the tool. Obviously, a little bit of error here and there, things you will need to still shape, but as these tools get more data, as they are being trained, as inferences are being made, they get better. And, we just have to continue to reflect on how we can use it to achieve more, to do more within a shorter period of time. Yeah.
Very apt. I think the point that, look, it's not just about automation, but also about
Yeah.
improving productivity. I think that point resonates a lot. And that's the way we are looking at it now in the workplace, right? And that's very apt. Thanks a lot for that. So let me go to Victor. So Victor, I think you have two caps. One is obviously you are in the leadership team in ACCA in Nigeria. So that also gives you access to what ACCA is seeing in terms of the direction. And obviously you also are a fellow and you have strong experience in management, in finance and leadership. So what do you think? How do you think ACC is helping the students in terms of improving their understanding, their knowledge, capacity around AI? I know that, for example, I teach SBL, and one of the topics in SBL is on technology, and machine learning. AI is a critical topic to that. So much more that we've had about 2 technical articles on it. But give us a sense of what ACC is doing around improving capacity around that. And I'll tell you there's an AI hub just in case you want to fleshing up what you say. So, but let's just hear from you in terms of what is ACC doing to improve capacity around this AI, conversations we've been having.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. I think it's really great. 1 second, please. Looks like I need to disconnect from another device. Apologies for that. I was signing on 2 devices. Okay, thank you so much. I think it's really interesting that we are having this conversation on AI today. AI has become so, no matter what you know, there is a chance that somehow, somewhere, in terms of the technical knowledge, there is an AI chat that can bring something out. But as Mr. David Brown said, as Professor Wolabi said, and Petronita, and hope I pronounced that correctly, and Sheyi, one thing that you will see is that there is still the human element that cannot be replicated in terms of decision making, in terms of the expert factor. And in one session that we had yesterday, I don't know if any of the and students were at the session that we had in the African virtual conference, I think about 2 days ago. In that session, it was very clear that AI will replace things that are replaceable, but the best use to make of AI is for you to be an expert in your own space. And so what ACC has been doing essentially is to make sure that you are able to maximize AI as a tool. Now, we have so many things in that space. It's not only the EPSM, it's already built into the EPSM. Let's talk too much openly about this until probably September. But the ACCA, for example, is also working on its qualification to make sure that things like data analysis, like artificial intelligence, current things are part of the qualification. And there is an option to be able to really dive deep into those aspects. I'm sure Sheyi, as one of the people that have helped us in that process, is aware of that. So a lot is going on in terms of machine learning, artificial intelligence, data analysis, and ACCA is at the forefront. It's not just it's not just a good, nice say that we say we think ahead. The ACCA has always been at the forefront of bringing those things to the market faster than anyone, and that's what we are doing. We are going to be having much more details around September, when we will be having some conversations around the qualification changes. And I promise that it's going to be really exciting.
Thank you, Victor. And I agree with you that there's quite a lot that ACCA is doing. One of the things that I personally consume a lot in terms of resources I consume is the ACCA AI Hub. And it has a lot, right? Just ai.accaglobal.com. There's a lot of resources, webinars, content, materials, professional insight reports, that it has. And I know that there's quite a lot that is still unfolding, because guess what? That's where we currently are, and that's the reality of the world that we have it as today, right? So I think I just want to add on that all the points you are making, and we just can't wait to see what is still there for us. So let me check with Petra. So Petro, I know that you are obviously an executive in the energy space, and there's quite a lot of our students as well too, increasingly, that we see working for energy companies. So do you want to give us a use case? Maybe just tell us a bit around how you've leveraged AI in terms of addressing specific risk, maybe financial risk, with your company or energy companies, just so that helps us to appreciate the use case of AI in dealing with real issues from the perspective of an energy firm.
Okay, so maybe just to give a bit of background, I work for an organization called Vivo Energy, and we manage the Shell and Engine brands in Africa. So we are technically an oil marketing company, and we sell fuels and lubricants. And so for Vivo Energy, one of the things that we pride ourselves on is we embrace technology as much as possible. We have developed a culture within the organization where we expect each and every employee to appreciate the purpose and how technology can help us. And so we found the more the culture is definitely brought down from a top-down perspective, we've seen more and more people, from the people at the pump all the way up to the managing directors, utilizing AI in many ways. So for my finance team especially, one of the key things that we have been utilizing AI for is demand forecasting. So previously we had a number of business analysts who would take quite a bit of time trying to come up with graphs and trying to analyze data using VLOOKUP and so on. And so one of the things that we realized was we could take away a lot of the initial number crunching and identifying patterns by utilizing certain algorithms. And so we engaged some company that came up with some algorithms that ultimately help us analyze the usage patterns of our consumers, help us analyze, economic indicators. So we're looking at where do we see the macroeconomic factors moving? How does that affect the pricing of our product? How does that affect the purchasing power of the consumer? And ultimately, we can see that it is improving our decision making. And so when we get AI and take out a lot of the manual labor or the manual work that was being done by the business analysts, we're finding ourselves improving our forecast accuracy, because now we're able to manage a whole lot of data. We're able to collect even more data, put it into a formula that helps us identify these are the potential steps you can take. And based on that, we then still have our analysts then come in and apply their experience and knowledge and then interpret it into meaningful steps that we're then able to take as management. So very helpful for forecasting. The second, and I think I did mention it earlier, is around fraud. The energy sector, especially in this country, is highly, there's a lot of fraud that takes place. And so you find that previously we would have to engage, forensic auditors and so on. But then you find that, again, we were able to come up with a certain formula or algorithm that helps us pinpoint certain anomalies when it comes to especially purchasing. So through our procurement process, we're able to put in certain keynotes that will help us identify whether there are any anomalies. And so you see that from the procurement side, we've taken out quite a bit of risk around preventing, us paying more than we should, paying fraudulent suppliers and transporters and so on. And ultimately, what we saw was it was helping us reduce costs. So you find that in finance, there's so many ways you can contribute to actually improving the bottom line, because when you bring in AI to identify and reduce certain components of the business process, you are ultimately reducing costs, increasing your revenues, and creating value for the business. And I think lastly, it's also to do with the equipment that we use. So we've been able to utilize AI in terms of managing our equipment. It helps us identify when our machines, pumps, and so on need to be serviced. When there are certain issues with the machines, we're able to get quicker alerts by utilizing AI than we did before, because previously we would then need people on the ground going around doing inspections. But now we have certain algorithms that help us actually identify when a small component needs to be replaced and so on. And so you find that as an accountant, there are so many ways you can incorporate AI into how we're managing the energy sector. And ultimately, you see that it then helps you create value for the business, which at the end of the day is why we're all employed, to create value. So, yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's what I can add, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. I like the way you keep, I mean, you ended it by linking it to value creation, right? And
Yeah.
that's really what it helps us does support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Time is really not our best friend, but we can still push a couple of questions around. So let me go to Sheyi. I mean, we are grateful to have you in-house at Ivy League, and more importantly, the role you play in serving on the Global Council for ACCA. And I've also looked at the ACCA strategy document heading towards 2025. So that's off the back. I want to ask you the question around what do you think international accounting bodies, so for example, like ACCA, I mean, do you think they can collaborate with tech companies to ensure responsible use around AI for accounting and finance? Because I know you were even touching about that when you were speaking to David around that collaboration between finance and tech. So what do you envisage, or how do you see it, from that perspective, right? So do you think there can be that synergy between tech and finance so that we create value around using AI?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's really how ACC is approaching this matter. There have been recent qualifications and certifications in this area, not only in the area of data analytics, business analytics, and even also as well, things around technology and AI that we're talking about. So I think there will always be need for collaboration. One thing, if you listen to David's session, he talked about domain expertise. Yeah, domain expertise is very critical. Technology is going to disrupt and continues to disrupt
Yeah.
every field. And our field is not immune to that. But technology would only help to the extent that we get it to help. So what we are doing here is how can we use our knowledge, of finance, of accounting, of economics, of business, and combine that with the tools that are made available and emerging technologies that we have to better enhance productivity. Look at examples shared by Petronella, for example, within their business, and she heads finance, but she's able to, also talk about how this is affecting our daily work and our reporting. So collaboration is very key. And I think one of the things Victor also mentioned is changes to the qualification that is being expected. And I think what ACCA is doing now is to put it at the forefront. So you're going to be having, similar to ethics and professional ethics module that we do now and online learning. You're going to also have something related to technology and AI, which are going to be able to do, further emphasizing what I said earlier on around awareness. It's when we are aware of these things, we can now pick our area of expertise. You may say you're not interested in data analytics, you actually prefer the field of security,
Yeah.
cybersecurity. We have a lot of accountants who are, security experts as well. Or you may say, oh, I want to be interested in enterprise software, so work as project managers or product managers, as the case may be, or in the core area of robotics and AI. So I think collaboration is very key because at the end of the day, it's going to be two ends working together, technology and our domain expertise to enhance productivity and achieve desired objectives. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, thank you, Shay. You couldn't have said it any better. And I think also the point that you made the point on collaboration very strong. But I think that also there will be a lot of innovations, and I think you're already attesting to that we're going to see coming from ACCA, even in terms of the qualification, maybe standalone supporting content as well to drive that. Well noted, and it's good to always get those views from the very top. So Victor, back to you, and I think we begin to wrap up by asking you what sort of advice would you then give to, I mean, young professionals? We have a couple of them on the call, interested in pursuing, I mean, a career in accounting and finance in this AI age. So, I mean, what do you say to them, right? So perhaps there's someone here off the back, fresh from school, fresh out of NYC, or just started his career, and just wondering how do I pursue a career in accounting and finance, given that AI is going to be mainstreaming everything that's going to be going on? So, what do you say to them, Victor?
Okay, thanks so much, Jonathan. Hope you can hear me.
Very well, we can.
Yes, thanks so much. I think it's interesting that this kind of question will always come up at the junction of any major change. I remember, pardon me if that sounds old, I remember in the early 90s when a computer came out called Amstrad computer with word processor, called Amstrad word processor. And the news was, oh, everybody was going to be out of work because the computer was going to take over. I think we are about 34 years since that time now. The computer has not taken over. But what has happened? What has happened is that human beings have now known how to use computer as a normal part of their work life. So you will not see anybody on a typewriter now because it has become obsolete. But a person that has refused to learn computer technology would have become obsolete and unemployable as a result of that transformation. And it's the same way that this drive towards AI and machine learning and modern technology is going to be. They are not, I am of the opinion that for people who are value enhancing, they will not take over your job. What they will do is that they will make your job much better for you. In fact, the technology is so, is it pervasive is the right word, that it can be used almost in any sector, including in even preparing for your exam. You know, I think I had a conversation with Jonathan sometimes last week or two where we were discussing something similar, not even knowing we are talking about it here today. The AI technology is being used, for example, to interrogate case studies, to just at least have an idea of what other possibilities and many things. The same way when your boss gives you an assignment in the office and you are still struggling to do it the old traditional way, there is a Gen Z there that not only knows the course content that you know, but also knows how to raise a chat GPT prompt. It will get that answer in 5 minutes that you will spend 2 days to get. And so it means that it's something we really need to embrace. We use it to our advantage. We reuse it to improve our competence. There's no running away from it. It has come and it is going to continue in that light. And very soon, using AI is just going to be like you are using your Microsoft Word or Excel. There will be practically no option about it. So let's embrace it and let's use it. And there are so many free trainings outside. You can go to Udemy, you can go to Coursera, you can go to many of the learning platforms. There are so many free, high quality
ACCA Hub.
Free trainings that you can do. Yeah.
I wanted you mentioning the ACCA AI Hub. I wanted you saying it, you know, that there are so many of these things on the ACCA.
I am deliberately shying away from mentioning that. But yes, we do have an AI
ACCA.
hub at the ACCA.
Yeah.
And I strongly encourage you to go and check it up. And in addition to that, please, we also have, as part of our resources, we have the study hub. We have the study hub, we have the practice platform. Now, all these things that we are talking about, they were actually built on on some form of technology that is gradually walking you towards AI. So please check on the resources that we have. I am not an expert in that resource section. I think even Jonathan is more of an expert on it than me. But please check them out. They are really, really very useful.
Okay, just to say to everyone off the back of what Victor said, I posted the ACCA AI Hub link. There's quite a lot of content. You could spend easily 50 to 60 hours consuming all the content there, from webinars to CPD to professional inside articles. So please engage on it. And we'll speak a bit more towards the end of the session around other qualifications that we are hoping to go into as a school to offer standalone certifications around that. So thank you. I actually wanted both Shea and Petra to speak to a point as they also wrap up, and that is really around this discussion around use cases in developing economies versus developed economy. So maybe I'll let Petra go with this. So Petra, what have you seen in terms of integrating AI within Zambia as a whole? Just using that as an example of a developing economy, and I want to link that to the question I asked Ushe to just see whether are the use cases the same. Is this sort of like a leveler, or do we think that the developed economies are sort of harnessing this more? I say this because one of the things we are really speaking to is ACCA can be a global passport, and just to understand that are there nuances as we look at some of the adoption of these technologies across different countries. So Petra, I don't know if you got that question. Do you want to speak from some examples from Zambia, and let's see how that connects to what she would say. Did you hear me, or can anybody hear me? I hope it's not that I'm lost.
Yes, we got you.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Is she still
Petra,
on the call?
Oh, I hope that the network hasn't taken off. Okay, I think we might have just lost that to the network. Okay. So Shay, maybe want to wrap that for us. What do you see? I mean, you have obviously several views on this.
Yeah, I mean, so I think before we even start with comparison, I think one thing is critical: data quality and the extent to which data is integrated within the organization, right? So if you see US or the West or more developed economies coming up with this technology, using it, and then it just seems like they are the ones that are innovative. It's not because the journey started today. This is a journey that would have started many years ago. And that also talks to the culture around data, accuracy of data, completeness of data that are being kept, and how well these data systems are able to talk to each other. How well integrated are they? So when you have lots of organizations that in terms of data maturity, they are still down the cadre, it's very difficult for them to adopt technology. It's very difficult for them to adopt AI. Because if you want AI to work for your business using your data, you've got to train the large language model with your data. And that's when it can be useful, it can be responsive to your needs, except for all those generic, business needs and use cases. I'll give you an example. So a gentleman reached out to me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Oh, I've come up with this tool. Is able to help you predict your emission levels, given the IFRS S1 and IFRS S2 sustainability standards that have been issued. I think it's going to be very useful in Nigeria." Shay, what do you think? Okay, I said, okay, let's do a demo, run me through a model. Let me see how this works. And then, we had a meeting. It showed all the inputs it's going to collect from the organization, and then the algorithms and the calculations that go on the ground. And I said to him, okay, one, these things are a matter of the maturity of the environments that you're in. I'm not sure how well this is going to be a viable business opportunity, at least for now, in Nigeria, compared to, for example, the UK, or compared to, other developed economies where it is being tracked, where it is being monitored, and all of that. But then when you look at our environment, you see a lot of VC funds, a lot of private equity funds also coming in, buying up startups. And because most of these funds are coming from, environments where sustainability and ESG is integrated into
Yeah.
their investment culture, they often ask their portfolio companies some of these questions. And so things will change over time, but what I'm just trying to say here is while the development countries are, much ahead in this area is also because of the culture they have had over time, getting to this point when it comes to data and how they adopt technology. Yeah.
Very apt. I agree with you. Culture and development over time. Let me check with Petra. Petra, are you? I see you on the call. Are you able to speak now?
Yes, sorry, I had some internet challenges.
Okay. So did you get my question?
No, not at all. Please, if you could just repeat.
Okay. No, yeah. I was asking about what are some of the unique challenges and opportunities in, leveraging AI across maybe the finance department of companies in Zambia or by extension developing economies. I just want to get that insight.
Okay, I would say probably three main challenges. The first is something that I think I alluded to, and that some of the other speakers have spoken about, and that's around the skill gap. We find that in many of our countries, there's a serious shortage of skilled professionals with the necessary expertise in AI and data analytics. Many of our universities, for example, in Zambia, probably at the moment, maybe only one or two would actually provide some short courses that would actually equip some of the professionals with the necessary skills. So currently looking for an actual talent pool of people who are proficient in AI technologies can be quite a serious challenge in countries such as Zambia because it requires quite some investment in training and different initiatives. And that investment has got a cost component. So then that becomes my second
Yeah.
challenge, cost and affordability. You find that implementing AI solutions requires some significant upfront costs, unfortunately, in most cases, because sometimes you need certain infrastructure, you need to pay for certain licensing. We've talked about the skill gap, so then you need to train your employees. And so cost and affordability is something that many companies cannot always manage upfront. So while they can appreciate and understand the importance of incorporating AI in the finance departments, you find that having then to manage between looking at the cost benefit analysis for many companies who are managing a lean P&L, it becomes quite a challenge. And then lastly, I would say the overall infrastructure and connectivity in our countries, you find that technological advancements have not moved at the right pace in many of our countries in developing economies. And so infrastructure is old. You find that there are connectivity issues. For example, right now in Zambia, we're experiencing serious load shedding because of the drought that we have. We rely on hydropower. And because of that, we have seen the telecoms companies, for example, struggling with connectivity because some of their towers are down. And so in a case where even if I can invest in infrastructure as a company to get the necessary technologies that I need, you find that you can't utilize them because of connectivity issues, internet connectivity issues. So these three things really for me, the skill gap, the cost attached to it, and the infrastructure are some of the serious challenges. But we also know that there's some opportunity here. We've seen a lot of governments, and we have one of the ministries in our country that focuses on technology. We're seeing them coming up with initiatives that are helping to focus more on advancing technology, advancing AI. And so while it might seem dire at the moment based on the current infrastructure we have, we know that there is a plan going forward in terms of how to improve internet connectivity, for example, which then allows companies to utilize fully AI. Yeah, thanks, Jonathan.
Very good. And I think Victor's hand is up. Victor, do you want to say anything so that we just take your final comments from everyone and wrap this?
Yeah, just to say to everyone that it's really a great thing that you are here today. Please take the mass at your feet. There is a lot going on in the world, but the most important thing is what is going on in your world, and you can be in control of it by really maximizing everything that you are going or you have learned and that you are going to learn today. Apologies, I have a presentation in 30 seconds, that we need
That's
to
fine.
drop off for. Thank you
That's
so
fine.
much, everyone.
Well,
Yeah, I now take my leave at this point.
thank you so much.
Yeah, thank
Thank you so much. So that was Victor, the head of education partnerships here in Nigeria. Shay, your final words.
Yes, thanks, Jonathan, for moderating this session. I think my final words will probably come around the area of embracing this as, something that is positive for us. Um, we will also need to ensure that we upskill ourselves, as
Yeah.
accountants, and it's an ongoing journey. It's not about obtaining certificates here and there when it comes to your knowledge of how, technology is affecting your field, because there's a lot of knowledge out there that sometimes is even free, that you
Yeah.
can actually gain in this area. So, and I think AI is here to stay. A lot of companies are investing in it. Um, that's the growth area. You even look at the capital markets currently and look at valuations of, major businesses is driven by this hype of AI and generative AI and things around productivity that can come from that. So I think we should be part of that excitement and,
Yeah.
ensure that we embrace it and go forth with it. Yeah.
Very good. Well done. Interesting times for everyone. Then Petronila, your final words.
Thanks, Jonathan. I think for me, I will really just leave the team with this. AI is a tool that can really streamline a lot of processes. It can enhance our decision making, but it will not replace the expertise and the judgment of skilled professionals. So, my last words to everyone is combining our accounting and finance knowledge with AI skills will simply just position us for successful and rewarding careers in today's age of AI. So embrace it, do not be afraid, and you will survive the next few years, the next generation, if you are willing to combine your love for finance and accounting with AI skills. Thank you.
Wow. Today has just really been very pumped up. I can't thank you all enough. I'm going to thank you one more time, Petronila, for joining us. I know we have tried to have you before now, but this time we're able to have you. Petronila, like I said, is the chairperson of the ACCA's member panel in Zambia. So it's always good to have you, and we wish you
Thank
all the
you.
very best in what you do. And we know how much of an ACCA advocate you are. So thanks for making out the time, and we can't thank you enough. We are very grateful.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right,
you for having me.
and yeah, and then to our own Shay, I mean, we have you with us, so we'll just say thank you, but please stay with us for the rest of the day. All right. Well done, everyone. And I mean, we did promise you when we started that, look, we're going to have a very, very loaded session today. And I think we sort of mainstreamed it around the theme of AI analytics and what's the future of accounting looking like. So let's now go back now to a bit around our value proposition as a school, our methodology, and our approach to learning. And we christened this the blended learning approach. So here in Ivy League, our approach to preparing, you for your ACC tuition and exams, essentially is anchored on four things, right? You can say LPRM if you like mnemonics, but really anchored on four things. Um, the first thing is learning, right? So once you join us, there's quite a lot of content that we are going to make available for you, and I'll speak to that in the next slide, where we would expect you to engage on to learn a lot. We would also have complementary sessions as well to that, where you would have a tutor also come and also reinforce some of the things we hope you had learned, from the content we've made available to you, and that takes us into practicing. So there's quite a heavy focus on practicing. So, and I'll speak to that because in the way our sessions will go, we'll tend to have a situation where we make content available to you, where we expect you to learn. We'll reinforce that with asynchronous conversations that will be going on the various platforms like our Microsoft Education platform, like the WhatsApp Good platform, and also the fact that we would always have periodic sessions at intervals where we get to have a live conversations, and we would use that to really do what I'll say practice lots of questions. And so even in what we call our lecture plan, and once you join us, we'll make a lecture plan available to you. There are a couple of questions that the tutors have itemized that are quite central to deepening the knowledge of the things that we would have taught you and you would also have engaged on in terms of content. Moving after that will be an emphasis on revision. So we do tend to separate, and what I mean is we tend to have what I'll call a teaching slash learning and question practice phase from the exam revision phase. What's the difference? The exam revision phase are geared towards like your final lap in terms of your preparation towards your exams, and it's quite structured in a manner which I'm going to share with you in the next slide, where the whole idea is really to pick up exam skills around exam time management, right, demystifying some of the approaches to actually dealing with the pressures you might face on the exam hall, but more importantly understanding what the quick wins are for you to gain and maximize your marks come on the exam day. So we have a revision phase that is really also a strong proposition that we also offer as a school. Then something else we also do is we conduct a mock exams that are marked, that are graded with feedbacks shared to our students. Because I mean, all the data, even from experience from our past students, reinforces this, suggests to us that look, candidates who do well have also put themselves under an exam mode condition where they've actually sat for a mock exam. So mock exams are a strong cardinal part of what we offer as a school. So again, we have our learning stage, we do question practice, and we also will do revision, and then we'll set you up for a mock exam that will be graded with feedbacks given to you. So what I've described here was really like a snapshot, but just to speak to specific details around what I've said. So in the learning phase slash the teaching phase, we would have access to pre-recorded videos. Now, these pre-recorded videos have been extensively developed to have a detailed coverage of the entire syllabus. So what you find in these videos will be expert tutors, right? Coming to teach on the topics in the syllabus in detail. We'll make those videos available to you once you sign up and you make your payments and you become registered on our platforms at the beginning of a session or the diet. Then in terms of practice, we solve standard questions. So at Ivy League, our questions are really live or past exam questions that we sort of focus on. So we're going to have that, and there'll be live classes where you can actually ask a tutor a question, and you watch the tutor and you go along with the tutor in the tutor solving these exam standard questions. The idea is that this will complement, what you've learned, what you've engaged on with our pre-recorded videos that we've made available to you, and we're going to be having live classes that will happen bi-weekly. But you know what? If you'll be joining for our standard intensive classes, which is the short classes for the September diet, you're going to have live classes every weekend. So that's actually extra value proposition for those taking the September classes. Then we'll have the revision stage, and the revision stage is actually a 3 full day revision where we tend to have about 8 to 9 hours with breaks in between, by the way, structured to be able to help us, deep dive, and finish a comprehensive diet question. That's actually one of the reasons we took that approach, to make sure that if we come on a particular revision day, we take an entire diet and actually cover it across all the sections that will be testable on the exam day. And these revision classes are live classes where you can have real-time interactions. Then we have the mock exam, is a separate product. We're going to make mock exam available to you on a weekday. We would usually will share a weekday timetable, and you do that, and then we'll also have a feedback as well, comprehensive feedback session for that. I did say that we're going to have a lecture plan that we'll make available to everyone who is signed up and has done his proper registration with us. And just to give you a sense of how that lecture plan looks like. So we have a lecture plan for a course here, and don't worry about the dates. I just want to emphasize on a couple of things. So this is a typical lecture plan, and this is for a standard class, just in terms of the differences between the dates. So for those who will be doing the standard diet, i.e., you'll be writing your exam in December, your live lectures or your live classes will happen bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. So let's take a situation where today is the very first live class we're going to have, right? And that live class, what will happen is that in that live class, we'll detail or have a conversation around the overview of the paper, what is our approach, take you through a couple of overview on the videos you will expect you to watch, and a couple of past questions, right? And then we'll make access to those recorded videos for you to engage on. You would have engaged of all of that, and then we come back in 2 weeks time, which in this case there's a 2 weeks interval, to have another live class where we then go through a recap of the videos you've watched and then get into question practice, and also end by preparing you for the next live class in itself. So this just a sense of how it works. So interestingly, this paper is for AAA. Don't worry about the paper, but what I like is that I think we've got the tutor for this particular paper on the call. So I don't know, Shay, do you want to say anything to what I've just said? If you want to highlight a couple of things to our approach to tuition and our learning approach here at Ivy League.
Yeah, I mean, I think you've said it all, to be honest. We changed our approach because we wanted something that will bring more flexibilities to students, reduce the volume of distractions during live classes, and also give you, that chance to watch some of these learnings as many times as you deem necessary as you prepare for your exams. And the feedback we got, last session when we introduced it was fantastic. I mean, a lot of students really loved it, particularly closer to the exams when you are then doing your own personal revision and getting ready for the exams. So I think that's just it. There will be classes every weekend. It's just that one of the classes will be a live class where the tutor is teaching you, while the other class that will happen where you have the step one videos and all of that, step two videos are going to be recorded classes that are being played during the class. But then you will have the opportunity to ask tutors questions during this process. And then you can also ask questions on WhatsApp groups as well that we have for each classroom and during the live classes. So I would say it's really what you want is the flexibility. Some people do say, oh, I often squeeze out time to do my own private studying. So I feel like this really helped me to flex, my studying with my schedule. So I think that's something that will really be very helpful to you as you prepare for your exams. Jonathan.
Thank you so much, and for just highlighting a couple of things that I might not have said a lot. So he's made the point. There actually classes will be every week, but one is live, and then the other one is to engage you on the pre-recording, just in case you need that sort of support as well. So this is something that we piloted in the last diet as we came into 2024. And I mean, she has emphasized on what the feedback has looked like. But just to say that he's hit on this and we captured these benefits. So this was our theory of change that we're going to look at a couple of these, and then we validated that with a couple of research and surveys that we've taken post that, and just to reflect that these are the benefits that you tend to gain with this new approach that we are sort of going on with now as a school. Okay, so next to something that we like to do, and that is let's get a chance to hear from our students. It's easy to think about what these things we say and just hear them a lot from us. But sometimes we want to really hear what you are saying. And we have invited two of our students, and I'm going to start with the first person, Adedoyin or Adeluwoye. And she's now an ACC member, so I should be careful in calling her a student, right? She's now a fellow member like I am. So let me confirm if Adedoyin is on the call, by the way.
Yes, good morning, Jojo. I'm here.
Fantastic. So Adedoyin was our student and now our alumni. And congratulations on becoming an ACCA member. I thought that was very fast, and that's actually what we sort of promote. I don't know if we are happy to see you, if you are going to let us see your face, but we wanted you to share your experience. I mean, you've been with us. I also know that you were with us while we're having our face-to-face sessions, but now we are sort of fully now offering our propositions online. So please do share with us what your experience was like, studying for your ACC qualifications with Ivy League and much more with our online sort of methodology and tuition approach.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Adedoyin Adeluwaye. I'm a corporate credit analyst in one of the Nigerian banks. I'm a wife and I'm a mom. So I got my membership June 2024, and that's why Jojo Jojo is still calling me a student, but it's okay. A student is always a student to a tutor. Okay, so I wrote my first SCCA paper in December 2020, and that's when we're very big on we're still doing face to face. I've been a student of Ivy League since then, and I remained a student in my last paper in March 2024. So I'd just like to say a couple of things. So to be honest, SCA is not for the lily livered. That's something that will grow on you. You have to really want it to be able to get it. I say because the journey is a very tough one, and I'll tell you why. So I said that I've been a student. Well, yeah, 2020. I wrote my first exam in December 2020. Um, I had a couple of failures. Yes, and Jojo Jojo will testify to that. So several things can happen. And then those things work together. They put holes into your perfect plan. Okay, so I want to just save for the next 2 years. I just want to write it for 1 year. But years down the line, you're still struggling it out. And that's why it is very important to have a very good tuition provider. And I'm happy to say that I got one in Ivy League. So the school continuously improve on their processes. I was hearing when Jojo said that now we have a blended sort of lecture delivery and all of that, and it's 100%. Whatever the school tries to do is to always better you know, the process. You get all the support that you would ever need to write and to succeed, your exam, not just your exams, even mentorship, personal mentorship, if you're that open, sometimes, even career mentorships, the other opportunities that will come up that, you would get them firsthand from Ivy League. So I like to say that I've had a couple of experiences with other tuition provider, both within and outside the country. But you would never. It's never the same. It's never the same. Ivy League has just sort of, they've created that niche for themselves, and the stories are there to tell. The students are there to always tell the stories, and it's not just as a school, like not just the tutors, also the admin team. They are very supportive. I can't tell you how many times I've had to pull a call across to, just out of the blues. I'll give you an example. Where we're writing, I think it was my first paper actually, and then I have a reading partner who, for one reason or the other, forgot, his ID card. I don't know what he was thinking. And then when they started checking us, he realized I didn't have his ID card. And the next he said he wanted to pull a call across to Mr. Lumde. And I was like, what do you want Mr. Lumde to do in this? Is he going to leave his office, But he called him, and Mr. Lumde was able to calm him. I just saying that, just explain very calmly to them that you don't have it. There's something you would have to feel, but you will be able to write it. And he was able to successfully calm him down to write, you know, the exam? Or is it when exams are closed and, with the lighting situation in Nigeria, the diesel situation and everything, they will do it such that, for those of us who will probably come back later in the night, so we always have light, the environment is always conducive for us to read. And we don't take these things for granted because we know that we didn't exactly pay for that. It's just something that the school in its wisdom has thought that, okay, so these guys would need this thing at this period and they make it available. So I've just concluded, that for the entire team in Ivy, for them is not a business. I've concluded that a long time ago. So I think they see it as a calling. They just want to raise successful people who will continue to air their own success stories. So I don't know, as we conclude, I mean, I know the meeting is coming to a conclusion, but as we conclude, I'd like for you to think very deeply, weigh your options. But please, if you're going to choose a learning provider, choose very wisely. You would not regret, coming on board if you decide to go with Ivy League. Okay, so George, I think I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, my fellow colleague and member. I would never make the mistake to call you students again. Thank you so much for that. And I think we are proud of her. And just after her last paper, she quickly moved in to become a member. So that's also something we also wish for our students, that progression happens very fast. Um, Off the back of that, we also have another person, Aminat Awisu. I think Amina is still writing, but just to confirm, Amina, are you on the call?
Yes, I am. Good morning, Jonathan.
Fantastic. And I mean, are we going to see your face? I don't know. Are you going to put on your video? But if not, we yield the floor to you. Let's hear about your own experience as well too.
Good morning. Can I confirm that you can see me?
Yes, we
Can you
can.
see me?
Yes, we can. Please go on. Yes, we can.
Okay. My name is Awisu Aminato, 300 level law
Okay.
student in the University of Lagos. I started ACCA in 2019. I started ACCA when I got admission for law. So I've been combining the two for 5 years now. I'm almost done with my program. It means two papers, two professional papers for me to write. Hopefully, it should be done this year. So I joined Ivy League for my professional papers. I joined Ivy League for AFM. Luckily for me, I was able to meet and she was, she is one of the best tutors I've ever met because he knows we disturb each other a lot. I disturb him a lot. I enter his DM. She please come and answer this. She please can you do this? She please do this. So I'm always like disturbing and disturbing. But one thing about she is he will answer, and if he does not answer, he will tell you go on the group because he acknowledges the fact that not every student will want to ask him question. So he's always like drop your question in the group chat so that everybody can benefit from it, even if they do not want to ask me. And he is one of the most straightforward person I've ever met because he will tell you if you don't do it like this is what is going to happen to you. If you do it like this, you are going to pass. So he gave me a level of assurance because it was like watching someone that really, really knows his craft and really loves his craft teach. And recently, I took a student of mine because I started tutoring students for foundation, private students, and I took a student of mine to write in Ivy. And I spoke to some of the people there, and they told me like, she is always saying, you don't need to do the whole advert. Let the students be the one to speak for you. Let their results be the one to speak for you. And it really made sense to me because I was like, it's like in Ivy League, when you look at the way they teach and you see that they are really interested in let the students pass and let their results be the one to speak first. Once they pass, we don't need to do much. We just need to sit down and bring people. And that was what happened to me because I passed my EFM very well. I think one of the few people among like my friends that went to other tutorial centers that was able to like pass very well. So I was able to bring people their services, their teaching was very nice. We're able to watch the recordings again. They had this meet like using Teams and this and that I've never experienced for another tutorial centers. where you could get access to your assignments, submit your assignments. So it was really innovative for me. And I just felt with the college that they have changed it to another thing that is more innovative. So I think it was an experience. It was good. She was a very good lecturer, a very good listener. She, I know that I'm complimenting too much. Please don't allow you to say. But yes, so if you want to keep experience in the person, attended 2 or 3 experience in the you should pick a lead because that's where I'm going to recommend for anybody. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you, Amina, and thank you so much for those testimonials. Don't worry. On behalf of Shay, we assure you that his head will do swell. I mean, because he's taught a lot of us, including myself speaking. He also taught me, many years ago, many years ago. And that speaks to also the experience of the tutors that we boast about, right? We have, believe it or not, we have tutors here who have been doing this for more than 2 decades as well, teaching on this program as well. Okay, thank you so much for that. So we wanted to do this as we wrap up our session today, and we're going to make give a chance for the admin and the to come and speak to us. We wanted to make a point that look, in all of the things that has been shared here today, it's actually a shared responsibility. So we make a commitment to supporting you, as evidenced by the testimonials that we've had and we've seen from the alumni who's come to speak to us. But there's also the responsibility that we actually want to be clear that is yours, and we're happy to guide you. But just to say that we expect that this responsibility you will take them very, very dear. So one is the fact that we have recorded videos. Um, we want you to please watch the recorded videos, engage on them, and they are done in such a manner that they are done in bit sizes, so they are not more than 60 minutes. You'll find averagely, sometimes even just a couple of minutes short of 60, sometimes maybe a couple of minutes just above it, but really that range. So please watch the recorded videos before you come to class. It helps with the quality of the interaction and the conversation. Also, too, is that we have live classes, and please, we want you to attend the live classes. And depending on what product or program you subscribe to, are you on the standard class? Are you on the intensive class? Attend the live classes that we have in line with your schedule and your lecture plan. And please do your assignments. Do your assignments. Please do your assignment. It helps to reinforce all the things that has been taught, right? So again, let me get to allow the admin speak to us, more importantly around some of the things we are sharing now. So just to confirm that Olumide, are you on the call? Is Olumide manager, are you on the call? Okay, I think it's handling a lot of. Okay, are you on the call?
Okay, Jonathan, I'm on the call, just that I'm battling a bit with connectivity. Please, and I don't know if you can hear
Okay,
me.
don't worry, let me. Okay, we can't hear you now.
Okay, but my network has been off and on. If you want to help me take it, I wouldn't mind. But if you don't mind, I can
Okay.
still.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, don't worry. That's fine. Let me go on.
Thank
So,
you.
in terms of our roadmap, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I know the network has been raining heavily. So, in terms of our network, so what our learning roadmap for you? So, we encourage that you register and pay for lectures. Lectures actually start today for the intensive classes, those who are writing for September. In fact, the very first class had started by 8 a.m. this morning, and it continues till we're going to have another class around 1 o'clock, and then it also continues for tomorrow for the Sunday papers. And I'll share the timetable with you in the next slide. So we encourage you register. It's always important to just make up your mind, register, and then you pay for lectures. Then the admin will set you up and set up your profile. You get to receive the link to the videos that we've spoken about and all the materials you need. And then there will also be videos to allow you familiarize yourself with our environment, our learning platform, also with the ACCA resources. You will watch your pre-recorded videos and lectures. You attend our live classes, attempt the weekly assignments we will share, attempt our progress test and debrief we do, register for the live online revision classes when it's time, register for our live mock exam and debrief sessions when the time comes. We also encourage that you do a self-assessed mock exam and then more importantly, do your exam as soon as you can. So that's essentially the journey, right? From registering to writing your exam that we're sharing with you. Okay. This is our lecture timetable. Like I've said, the intensive classes have started already and still pretty much holds the same sort of structure. Just a difference will be around the timing of one or two papers. But for the standard class, it will start next week, Saturday. That's if you are targeting in writing your exams in December, it will start next week, Saturday. And all our classes are online, right? So you can sign up from anywhere, right? And so please look at the timetable. Perhaps you've got preferences for when you want to attend the class, or preferences for what papers you want to write, or even paper combination. The only thing to add is that SBL, all our classes are 4 hours, but SBL is a 6 hours class. But don't worry, I lead that paper. You would not know when the 6 hours is gone. Two things: we have a lot of breaks and it's always very interactive, and sometimes we mix it with a couple of things to make the sessions very interesting. So SBL will start by 8 a.m. every Sunday. So you sort of wake up to breakfast with us in SBL. But every other paper is a 4 hours paper. Saturday papers in the mornings are SBL, performance management, management accounting. Saturday afternoon papers, AFM, FM, financial accounting, diploma in IFRS. Sunday papers, FR, SBL starts in the morning, APM, BT. Sunday afternoon, tax, AAA, ACBL. Maybe you want to have a paper combination that allows you to attend classes only on Saturdays, if that's the kind of person you sort of want to run, so that you use your Sundays for personal things, or vice versa. I go to work on Saturdays, so I will take papers. The flexibility is there for you, right? So look at it. You can take a snapshot if you want to, and this can work for you. So pretty much the intensive class has started today, and if you still want to join, feel free, you can. I think one good thing to say is that you have access to the recordings for those of you who might still want to join the intensive class that has already started, especially for the people that started this morning. So that flexibility is still there for you and beyond. All right. So this is the point where we get to question and answers. Please, I am very happy now to take on your questions. And to the rest of you on the call, this is just basically questions and answers. So if you have other engagement, it's fine. So we are just here going to taking up those questions. So feel free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the contact list and see if you are signifying with the raise of your hand. So Q&A essentially. Or Shay, do you want to add anything? Just checking with you, Shay, by the way, before we get into Q&A.
No, Jonathan, I think we can take questions. Yeah.
All right. So let's take questions. And please, before we get into this, I want to recognize that on the call, we have a couple of our tutors and course leads on the call. I thought it was important that we give them that recognition. We're a team, really, a family, in fact, not just a team. And it might be good to even check with them on if there's anything. We've got our VC. We have a VC in the school because we offer the BSc in accounting program. So we have a VC that leads that qualification. Adetutu Oludare, who is a senior exec, serves as a CFO in one of the banks in Nigeria today. So Adetutu, this is all saying hello to you.
Okay, thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Jonathan. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Tutu. I also know that I saw on the call Korode, has he left? Maybe he has. Then we have one of us who also was my tutor as well. Shehu, you won't hide anyway, just to say you won't hide. But do you want to say hello to us?
Hi, Jonathan. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, loud and clear.
Oh, okay. Good morning. Nice session so far. You've not missed anything as far as I know. So, yes, well done, and well done to the team. Thank you.
Okay. That's fine. And please, because of some of the names I see here on iPhone, any of our tutors on the call, please feel free to also unmute yourself and just say hello to us on the call. We'll be happy. Okay, so questions, Q&A. Could it be that this was perfectly spot on and you're fine? Anything you want us to clarify, we are happy to do that. And I've got Gifts is the first person. So Gift, do you want to unmute yourself and speak to us?
All right. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, so I just need clarification on the BSc part of ACCA. I don't think I'll have that. I don't think I'll have the proper understanding of that part.
The BSc in accounting, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Tutu, do you want to say anything to that? So I shouldn't speak when the VC is here. So let me allow the VC speak directly.
Jonathan, you can speak, but it's fine. Thanks for asking
Yeah.
that question. So the part is for you to have a BSc in applied accounting as you journey in your ACCA period. So with all the papers that you will have done in the applied skills stage of the professional exams, you would be able to get a BSc in applied accounting before you do your professional exams. So we actually have an open day, which is going to be the second weekend in August. So you could just come around on that day so that you can get additional information and ask us specific questions as to what you need to do to be part of the school. I don't know whether I was audible.
Yeah. We heard you very clear. And just to add that, so we have an open day. We had communicated that the second weekend, and just checking that looks like August 10th. But something to just add off the back of that is, please also engage with us on our social media platforms. We also tend to share this, and this is actually also the contact of the school. So yes, we are going to have a session on August 10, Saturday, August 10, and think of it as in 4 weeks' time, in 4 Saturdays today, we are going to have a session directly focused on the BSc in applied accounting from the Oxford Brookes University, and we offer that product as a school. Where we would assign a mentor to you to guide you in writing your project that would lead you towards that, and just guide you in terms of assessing your preparedness as well too. But you are going to have detailed information associated with that on August 10. But please feel free to also engage with us. And I don't know, Gift, if that is fine, what you've heard from Tutu and also what we've just shared.
Okay, so my second question is this particular diet, is it going to be just online or physical and online?
Okay.
For foundation.
Okay. I just also wanted to bring in a couple of the people to speak to that. So, manager, do you want to say anything to that? Even though we have advertised the way our lectures will run, maybe again he has the network issue. But just to say that our classes are virtual. This is the timetable communicating that, if you can see that. So our classes are virtual, and we want to run it as such, so that all the benefits we've spoken to, and that you thoroughly benefit from that. Maybe a question I might just ask you, Gift, is: have you started your ACCA journey?
Yes, and I've made payment for the classes. So it
So which
hasn't
class now?
commenced yet. The
Which
foundation,
class are
FA
we?
and
Oh,
IME.
okay. All right. Okay. So they will be virtual and they will be running in the days that you can see in the timetable here.
Okay.
All right. Manager, please feel free to speak. Your hand is up.
Yeah, thank you very much. I just want to add to everything that has been said about the process. I also like to let you know, you may have younger ones that are just fresh out of secondary school, and that you should be taking accounting as a profession. Our weekday classes as well. We have a weekday classes, which is in class for for your younger ones to come in, and it's not age restricted. You can just fresh out of secondary school, fresh out of university, still at home, then getting yourself engaged while you get a diploma in accounting and business, which can also, be a very big and very good addition to your CV. So please reach out to us, recommend Ivy League, and then for every person that you refer to Ivy League, we still have a referral benefits. So we'll pay you for every student that you refer to Ivy League, especially for these weekday classes. Please help tell this to your friends, your younger ones, and help somebody to be a better accountant, like Mr. Jonathan, David Brown, and everyone that will be speaking in the meeting. Thank you.
All right. So just to add to that is that we have what we call like a referral sort of payment we make. And the idea around this is we really do think that as part of what we want to do is really economic and social development. And there's also that perspective that we really want our impact to be far and wide reaching. So we find out that for everyone who sort of attends Ivy League, there are potentially 2 to 3 people still that they can sort of influence their decision to join. You would have seen that one of the people who spoke was a law student, and that's something that is also interesting about the world of accounting and finance. So I think, and that's obviously data that can corroborate that financial knowledge is now actually something that everyone can benefit from corporates to individuals, so anyone. So we've seen a couple of people who are doing programs or in humanities and social sciences who still want to deepen their knowledge of finance. And by the way, we offer quite a couple of other complementary programs as well too. So someone can do the diploma or the foundations in ACCA, right? And that in itself can also be very helpful for such a person. So the point here is that anybody who is desirous of improving their finance knowledge and capacity can actually look at attending a program with us, and there will be referral bonuses for every referral that you do make. It's a way to make sure that we are expanding our impact and reaching out to more people. Okay, I've got another hand, and that is who do we have on the call? Oyinko Olayinka.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Please, I have a
morning.
question about the classes because I just registered, I think, this week, and when I was
Okay.
registering, I was told that I registered for classes for knowledge level, and I was told that there will be physical classes for that on Saturday and Sunday. So now, when you mentioned that all classes are virtual, I'm a bit confused because I registered for physical classes.
Okay, just to ask, the manager will speak to that now. But just to ask, which papers did you register for?
For FA, BT, and MA.
Okay, I think there's a midweek, there's a fiscal variant, but let me allow the manager speak to that.
Those physical classes. All right, thank you very much. Oh, thank you for joining, and we appreciate you joining Ivy League. I want to believe there must have been a miscommunication somewhere along the line about that, but there's no physical class for knowledge level. Uh, going forward. You understand? So, but I'll be glad to have a conversation with you, maybe after the meeting, because I know you've been speaking to one of my colleagues, but all the classes are online.
Okay. So I think that's fine. We can just take her offline and just sort of clarify that with her as well. Is there any other question again? Okay, please do follow us on social media. We have active handles across platforms like X, Ivy League Prof, platforms like Facebook, Ivy League Associates, Instagram, Ivy League Associates, LinkedIn, Ivy League Associates. Then you can engage on a lot of our content on YouTube as well too. Just stay connected with us, and we believe that there's always going to be a lot, of information as well that you can get by following us. So, on that note, I think the time here is in the hour, and it is 12 o'clock Nigerian time, depending on what part of the world we're at the top of the hour. So, I want to say a very big thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this session very enlightening, very educative, very informative. But feel free to still engage with us directly, either via our social media platforms or via the numbers that are posted here, or you could visit our websites. We are very happy to engage with you directly. It's been a pleasure anchoring and hosting this. And then, on behalf of myself, on behalf of the entire school, the management, the faculty, the admin, the tutors, and to everyone, thank you for coming and have a great day, everyone. And see you in your classes at Ivy League. Thank you.